only. Glad you guys can make it out. I'm making some claims that are pretty outlandish, but I can back them up. Boom. End of story. There is no other crypto out there, so don't get it twisted. If you don't understand where you're parking your money, you're going to pay the consequences for that, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. Boom. We're obliterating everybody. Literally. There is nobody else that comes close to what Hex has done. Boom. Oh, it's about to get funky. Funkier than you could have ever imagined. You know, Richard Hart is a boss. Hex is literally the best thing on the planet. It's simple mathematics. The information displayed in this broadcast is known to cause increased amounts of FOMO. Wells only and his guests are not responsible for any losses you may accrue for having weak hands. Where the hate is at? Y'all bitches still ain't showed up. And now, right, we got Hex. Flawless uptime. People thought this was a joke. Now they're mad at the chart. It's lullaby music, really, right? Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. Man, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all's deep. Everybody. My God. Ex-Asians, bro. Everybody. Australians, man. Everybody gets me. Yo, when is it told you? Dollar told you. Everybody done told you. It's crazy. What up, everybody? Wales only. They will be with us in a moment. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Thursday, depending on where you are in this room. It's been a pretty interesting 24-hour period, right? The world keeps flip-flopping. We had the Supreme Court basically shut down the nonsense yesterday. Or the day before, excuse me. And what happened yesterday? And what's going on today? Well, the babysitters are saying, hey, we need, what's going on, brother?
Boom. Let's do it. Dude, let's just keep replaying the intro over and over again. That's the whole show.
Almost made me spit my water.
Dude, that shit gets me so hyped, man.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I switched it up today a little bit. I kind of did a little DJ. I was trying to replace Cryptomatic a little bit on the stream. I don't know.
I like that.
I started with the old one and then threw the new one in there because I hadn't heard it in a while. I even have forgotten what the hell it sounded like, so I had to play it. But
yeah, it's fire.
Yo, so I know you heard 2 days ago the Supreme Court in Florida, the federal courts in Florida, basically kicked out mask mandates, and yesterday, the quote-unquote administration stated publicly that they don't think the courts know better based on what they think the CDC should know, which is interesting because the CDC has changed their position like 20 fucking times throughout the whole past 2 years. So I don't really care what they think or say.
Yeah, sure. And they're trying to like give them more power than the courts of the United States.
Yeah, which is funny.
Is backed by the Constitution. Like, shut up, dude. What are you even saying?
It's super funny. It's just
It
super
is, right?
hilarious, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go on ahead and slide this one on through, and you're not gonna notice. Don't even worry about it. We got your back. Sure, you do.
Well, I think this opens them up for liability too, which is why they got to keep fighting this till like the last ounce.
100%. They have no
Like you see
choice.
with Hillary, like she's got to
Hmm.
keep fighting the Russia thing all the way to
Hmm.
the end when she's in handcuffs because she has no
And
choice.
she's not gonna be able to. She's gonna lose that fight.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%.
She's
But it's going
already
to be
lost it.
hilarious watching it because
Oh yeah.
the commitment down to like the last second will have to be there because she's
Hmm.
got no choice at this point.
100%. 100%. It's kind of funny because even through all of that, people will still act like she's in the right for some reason.
Right, because I think it's simply because the confidence she'll bestow through the whole process. Like
Hmm.
they'll just say, "Wow, she can't be guilty because she's still there. She's like
Right.
she's standing up in court and testifying. She's swearing on her life that she's right." That
Hmm.
means nothing to them.
Hmm.
So understand that. Like it means different to you what it means to them.
Correct. They actually have no integrity.
None. They will lie to their
Zero.
mom, to the Pope, to
Everybody.
anybody. The Buddha himself could come
Hmm.
back down to the planet, and they will lie to his fucking face.
Everybody. Literally.
So nobody's safe on that.
Nah. So let's
But
take
yeah,
a few minutes out, say what's up to the chat, and then let's get back into it if you want.
yeah, let's do it.
I mean, it's so crazy, man. I mean, what you said is phenomenal, right?
Yeah,
Like they will literally lie to you and not think twice about it and hope that you believe them.
yeah. And more people will tend to believe them just because they're like nobody can keep a lie this long. There's no way she could go on TV and lie like this. There's no way fill in the blank.
Yeah.
But you got to understand is that they do and they can. It's because they're not you, and just
They're
because you could never do that doesn't mean
doesn't
that they
mean
couldn't.
Yeah. Yo, that's a lesson that I had to learn the hard way about life.
100%, dude. 100%.
People that are incentivized to do things will do them.
Yeah, yeah.
Period. Let's go through this little list here of attendance. Let's do a little roll call. Shout out to Hex McKenzie. Grazv. Shout out to you. Tarafin, you're always showing up, bro. Thank you for coming through. Who is getting accosted out there? Sorry, guys. Cash Plus, what's up? I used to do this a lot, but sometimes we just get into these streams, man, because it's just so much going on. Chris, what's going on, brother? Godfather J6 was good. Appreciate the shout out on Twitter too, man. Thank you. R23 was out. Agenda 69, what's up? I like that agenda too.
Yes, sir.
What's up, gay man? A guy, man. Oh man, what's going on, Gunner Boat? Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Squid Lord, what's up? Switzerland, how about that? Man, you're in
Nice.
the thick of things, as I like to say. Renchi T, what's going on? Sante was good. Oh man, and we just like to come on here, have a good conversation, make it thorough. Shout out to you, Balia. Thank you for coming through as always, brother. Jen Hex, hope you're doing well, bro. And just give everybody um the information that they need. That's what it's about. Shout out to you,
Yeah.
Crypto King.
And it's
Have,
also like I feel like these streams are like a reminder of
mhm,
what you're doing, like the purpose, the mission, all of that. It's
yeah,
like baked into these streams to stay strong in the positions that you're holding, right?
gotta be right. I
Which
mean,
is different than like an ETH or Bitcoin maxi because they kind of just get on and they kind of go through like the 6 or 7 talking points and then that's it.
mhm, mhm,
Whereas this is much more of a dynamic conversation about like really we're just hunting for yield.
right,
And we're fortunate enough that Hex has the best yield.
literally,
And it's not even comparable.
not even
So
close.
that's actually something I wanted to cover really quick is that, so I was digging into this the other day for some upcoming research so I was digging into crypto.com's debit card. Binance has a debit card. FTX has a debit card. Coinbase has a debit card. Then we got Nexo has a credit card that's based off your bank, not your bank, but your portfolio balance. Understand something. With a lot of these tools, like for example, Nexo, you can get up to 16% APY on the dot that you hold in your wallet if you were to stake it or use it as collateral, but only once you're over $1 million range, and you have to have 10% of your portfolio sitting in Nexo. So you can get 10% off stables too, but you got to have 10% of your portfolio sitting in Nexo, and that's for over $1 million portfolio. With Crypto.com, over $400,000 staked, which has to be staked for at least 180 days. I actually think the minimum is 6 months to start getting the better ROI. You'll get 8%. Guys, you could come in with a fucking dollar right now and stake it in Hex, and you're getting 38%, 40% APY. Like, let that sink in.
Yo, and here's the best part. No matter what it costs you, that's your APY. So even though a T-share costs what it costs, guess what? You're getting that equivalent yield regardless.
Yeah.
And it's important that people understand that, because that's the secret. The secret in Hex is getting comped in inflation. And that inflation is crypto. That's why you win. That's why these people that you see dumping millions of dollars worth of Hex like morons, because they don't know what to do with that money. They never seen that amount of money ever in their lives. So they just click and sell.
Yeah. And Brizzy corrected me in the chat. Thank you for that. It's 8% cash back, not 8% APY. You're correct on Crypto.com card. That's for $400,000 sitting in CRO staked. So again, like that's what percentage of people in the United States can fucking do that right now. Go drop 400K just chilling in a stake for 6 months before you start to get that.
Just to earn what? 8%.
8% cash back. Now I don't know if that's capped or like what exactly, like, is that on every single swipe? Is that on every single purchase? I don't know. I didn't look that deep. I don't actually care. But like I guess the point of me bringing that up is like, you know, what are our options right now? Bonds, savings account, big man, or like something like Hex, and nothing compares. Like we've looked for it, we've looked endlessly over the last years to try and find something that's better. Real estate, nope. Bitcoin since the beginning of the year is down 9%. So it's like, you know, nothing else.
I mean, just listen to the options you just gave.
I know, right?
Yo, it's like, are we really having this conversation?
Yeah, true. But I think for some people, like, they still maybe need those bullet points. So they need that kind of that reference in that frame, right?
I mean,
especially if you're trying to onboard. I'd be using stuff like this if you're trying to onboard. That's why I give out stuff like this. It's bullets for you to onboard with.
Right. I mean, and that's what it's about. But I think there's a next level to give people ammunition in terms of onboarding, and that's giving them their own respective understanding, right? Because it's one thing to give them bullet points, but what if those bullet points don't make sense to them? And that's always my concern when I'm sharing information, because it's so easy to just, and because this is what I was doing at first. I was just rambling on, and that was it, because I knew what I was talking about.
That's a great point. What if they don't understand what you're saying?
Exactly. And that's what I ended up finding out. Like, nobody knew what the hell I was talking about. What up, Corey? What up, Avi? Like, I was talking to myself even though I was talking to people. And that's not cool, because I'm not getting my message across. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that.
Yeah.
Right? We need to get our message out there. And until I started making it, you know, bite-sizable to a certain extent, it wasn't really hitting. Right? And that's when I started doing ABC, 1, 2, 3. But it's not about bringing myself down, right? It's about making sure people understand the information. That's it. That's what it's about. It's not about anything else, right? Because how else are we going to get the information out there and replicate it in the proper form when we're battling a whole army of furus? All right.
Yeah, true.
Like we're battling literally a whole army of furus. Damn, it's just
I
crazy.
mean, if you think about that, I mean, that's kind of funny in and of itself. Like
Yeah.
that these dudes have been in this industry for 3+ years. You know, there's a whole group of them, and I'm in this group, and then I don't even look at the group. But when I pop in there and catch up, because it gets like 3,000-4,000 messages behind, it's the same shit, dude. That was talked about in 2017. It's like kind of like the same game of trying to grind up your rates for paid reviews and trying to get more video views and trying to do more collabs and just trying to do all this crap. You know, they got awards now. They got all kinds of ceremonies and stuff for these people. It's like none of that is fucking necessary.
Yo, none of it. For
It's
what?
it's so unnecessary.
Yeah, like just provide information people want so that they can progress. Keep moving.
Like it's
What?
embarrassing.
Yeah, it's very
You're trying
embarrassing.
to make, what are you trying to make, like an Oscars out of like YouTube personalities about crypto?
Yo,
Like,
imagine.
what the fuck are we doing?
Imagine.
No,
Wow.
I don't want to. I don't want
What
to.
are we doing?
Yeah. Like why you keep trying to recreate the shit that's broken and don't work?
Yo, I
And the
don't
new
get
thing,
that.
you're shitting on this perfect steak, and then you're
Literally.
pretending like it's a different steak.
Mhm.
It's
Literally.
like, dude, the steak was beautiful by itself. Do a little salt and pepper on that bitch, and it's beautiful. Leave it alone.
Yo, don't even put butter on it. Just leave it alone because you're gonna
Yeah,
fuck
just
it
leave
up.
it alone.
I mean, man, look, we know about this thing called a T-share, right? Which is just the way that Hex measures its unit of yield. That's it, right? So this thing, you can buy it, and this thing pays you once you buy it, right? And that's important because everybody is literally chasing yield, no matter where they are in this world, and that's a fact,
Yeah.
not an opinion. And nobody can contest that because what are we all doing online right now? Precisely chasing you.
Everybody in every country on the entire fucking planet is trying to make a return on their money right now.
Everybody. That's exactly why everybody's looking into crypto, YouTubing whatever, internet searching whatever.
Yeah.
Literally. So this is how I know what I know. This is how I can see the future of Hex. Because it's gonna be pretty hard for anybody to supplant what we have going on here. Because we're literally, literally creating a foundation based on this coin, a financial foundation. And that is going to be pretty amazing
Yeah.
because this thing just works like a clock, like time. It just goes and goes and goes.
Yeah, this thing just has to keep running. That's all this has to do, and it's going to get to the point to where, every single big economy and small economy that's trying to like run these little hustles and schemes to get
Mhm.
ROI and to get yield, those chickens gonna come home to roost.
Yep.
The people in equities, they're gonna get burned as soon as
Always do.
quantitative tightening starts to happen or the 10 rate hikes occur, whatever comes first. And so they're going to get burned. The real estate kids going to get burned. The used car sales flippers going to get burned. The Chinese real estate mogul going to get burned. They already been getting burned, but it's going to keep happening. And so
And
it's
this,
going to get to this point where they have no fucking choice.
yep, my favorite two words as I like to
It's gonna be like Allah shining with the light behind him. You know that magical, majestic scene in the movie,
Yep.
and it's gonna just be the Hex logo. I truly have sometimes I have daydreams about that, like that kind of moment,
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is? It's just people really underestimate the elegance and simplicity of design and functionality.
Yeah, yeah. With a driver that allows it to be completely insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could never, like obviously you could never get this with a standard CD. You could never get this with a standard
No,
savings account, any kind of banking instrument. But
not at
because
all.
it's on a blockchain, because it's this new magical internet money, it just allows it to do magical shit that you didn't even know was possible.
Possible. Yeah, I mean, there's 90,000 stakers in existence as far as we know.
Yeah.
And And what that means is there are only 90,000 people in this world that knows a T-share exists. The implications there are profoundly ridiculous.
Shit.
Because what is happening is that only you are able to benefit. Only 10% of the existing cohort that knows the HEX exists is staked. Only 10% of all the coins is staked. That means that there's a lot of room for opportunity to the upside and for more yield. Because by the time people figure this out, it's going to be out of their dollar reach.
Yes.
And it's important for you to understand that, because the earlier you get in, the more benefit you derive from that reality. Because the longer you wait, the further deteriorated the dollar becomes, the more expensive everything becomes. And that's the only guarantee we have. Literally.
Yeah. And that's something I also don't think people think through all the ways. They're like, oh, well, what happens to my APY when there's, millions and millions of addresses staking and, hundreds of millions of people involved in this game called HEX? You're not taking into consideration where the dollar is going to be, where the cost to transact and buy HEX is going to be, the cost per T-share. All of that is going to be at such a mental rate at that point of like hitting whatever peak influence or peak spread that, as long as you're in now, like none of that's going to affect you the way that you think it will. So don't get greedy into not wanting to share this vehicle because you think, oh, the more people come in, it just dilutes my APY. No. There's a ton of people out there. Man. There's plenty of room. There's plenty of money to go around.
I love this comment. Thank you, Lindsay. This is
That's true. They do.
Traditional CDs offer a generous percentage to net negative. I mean, your rate of return on the CD is literally negative. A negative rate of return. Because inflation cannot keep up with that CD. It doesn't matter how long you lock that money up for. And that's why the regular financial system sucks.
Yeah, it does. It beyond sucks.
Yeah. And, we can lie to ourselves to our content, talking about, but we talk about it in dollars and all this nonsense. But, the fact remains, the dollar is what we use because we're forced to. We would not if we didn't have to. Very simple.
Yeah, and I mean, that might change. The U.S. dollar dependency and strength might change, so we might be denominating in something different in the future. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But for now, it's the dollar.
Yep. And the dollar is really the culprit for what's causing a lot of the heartache and pain. And it's that simple. So this is a good comment because either people can't understand or are too impatient to learn. Right? That's really that whole comment, because that's really true. Because we are in the TLDR generation.
Oh, 100%, dude.
Right?
Absolutely.
And my earliest experience with that fact was back when I was still in the military, that I was working for some general or something, and I was tasked with providing, basically what I do now, daily updates on what's going on in the world, current events. That was my job in the military for a little period of time.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right. How funny is that?
Dang, dude. I didn't know that.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares, man? It's just one of those things you kind of end up doing because they just make you do it. You don't think anything of it.
Right. So, but were you looking at a global scale or at like micro, macro? What were you looking at? Everything?
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
I was reading like all kinds of papers and all kinds of nonsense. And let's welcome a special guest. Welcome aboard, Sal.
Uh-oh.
Well, hello, gentlemen. I just really wanted to be on the stream with Samuel L. Jackson and Steve Buscemi.
Yo, shout out to Kurt the Heartbeat. I heard that the other day.
Shout out to him.
Dude, that was clever. I loved it.
I did too.
Yeah, that was so funny. I never thought of that, but
We need to make an intro out of that. I think we
yeah,
need to
I'm
do
gonna get
something with that.
marketable on his stat as soon as he's done
Yes.
moving into his band or whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
Shout out to marketable, man. We got some good people in this community, bro.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
100%.
Yep. Shout out to A Wild SJ. She did the uh reading of sci-fi for those that don't know. So
She
find
killed
it.
it.
Yeah, she killed it.
Oh,
So
that's great.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
that.
Find it and enjoy. Audio version of sci-fi is available in its full form, I think. So
Hell yeah.
there you go. Yeah. And yes, ceremonies. I mean, the things that these people do is just it's out of whack. It's out of whack, man. It's out of whack. But yeah, so when you realize that you own this dynamic unit of yield, you cannot be beat. Like there is nothing that can outpace that, right? And I think people really have a hard time wrapping their head around that. Like Hex offers you dynamic yield. And I used to talk about this all the time back in the day, but I guess since everybody forgot, I might as well bring it back up. Because what do you get from the legacy system? It's right here.
Yeah.
The only thing
Essentially.
possible in the legacy system is tiny gains over year or massive losses instantly. That's it. You know, kinetics is out in the sticks, so maybe he'll jump back in. But you know, there is no yield to be found, just massive losses.
Losses everywhere, man. Like really let this digest. This is, a core ethos that we talk about. You've got inflation that's taxing you. You've got taxes that are taxing you. You've got loss of the value of the dollar itself, which are taxing you. Like, where are you at 20 years from now without something like this? You are so far fucked. You have no clue which way is up. You're hundreds of % in the hole at that point. Like realistic on the ground gains.
Right.
You're hundreds of % in the hole.
Literally.
I really wish there was an easy way to measure this for people. Like what does actual on the ground inflation and losses look like over a 10, 20-year period? It's got to be astronomical, dude.
Must be.
If you add all this shit up.
Yeah.
Astronomical, which is why they compartmentalize it so much. You got taxes over here. You got inflation over here. They never touch. Nobody's really ever talking about those in the same room. Whereas if you think about it, the Federal Reserve, the people that run those, the conversations, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, it should all be one meeting, right? It should all be one group talking about these things because they're all the same shit, right? They're all taxes.
But they're not.
But they're not. So they got this group over here, this group over there, IRS over here, and you never know the wiser.
You think they don't even know each other?
Yes. Like they don't even cross paths in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
When they're having lunch together.
That's right. Playing tennis on the weekends together.
Yes, they're passing legislation together.
Mm-hmm. They're doing everything together. Literally. Yep. Take that as you may.
Yeah, that's called being stupid as a fox. Is what that's called. Pretending you don't know, but you know.
Yep.
Yes, sir. 100%. And that's what you're up against. So that's like you got to let this sink in and realize what you're actually up against. It's a lot, man. It is really a lot more than you think.
It is, because what ends up happening is that you end up believing a narrative and basing ideas on that narrative, right? And this is what I used to do when I first got into markets. This is why I got wrecked for the first few years, because I thought reality is what mattered. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Laugh it up. because we all know better now.
Yeah.
Right?
Was that tuition you were paying at that point in time?
That is correct, sir. And I paid it well. I paid it
man.
very well because I made the best trade of my life. I've already done better than anybody on Wall Street. And I still work. That's funny.
Yeah, let that sink in.
Yeah.
Hexicans are going to be the greatest investors, better than Warren Buffett, I mean, some of them already probably are in terms of APY percentage and ROI.
Yep, I've already done the math. That was part of that doubling. When we were talking about the doubling rate and all that back in the day, I figured all that math out. I did it live real time. We are better already.
That's crazy. Where's the book deals, man? Where's my CNBC Fast Money interview?
Well, you know, we don't have any money to launder with them, so we don't kind of need that.
True. 100%, dude. 100%.
Oh,
they are there to support the money laundering system.
That's right.
While telling you that you're involved in money laundering by being involved in crypto.
That's right.
I fucking love it.
Yep.
And let's talk about this because this is a bad idea. Right?
Yeah, I saw that. I hope
and let's talk about the reason why, because I understand why somebody would think it's a good idea, because you think that this brings adoption, but all it does is it makes HEX expendable, because then it becomes a utility, and it's not a utility; it's a store of value. It's there.
You don't want that velocity. Yep.
Yeah, and I think it's tough to surmise that if people are getting paid in HEX, they're only going to stake it. Because if they're only getting paid in HEX, it means there's going to be a deficit somewhere, because there's a cost to doing business. So there has to be something else that can be used as an element for payment. I think Pulse is a better option, even PulseX. Unless the yield earning potential is so good, right, that it doesn't make sense. But there's got to be something else that's not a store of value that is a better use for this mechanism. And maybe we create it. Who knows? You know, but it can't be HEX because it just doesn't work well in that fashion. It's not designed for that, unfortunately.
Well, it promotes weak hands, and it just would never work. I would rather just wait until somebody stacks something on top of it and use that.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Be patient. Right. Be patient. There's more shit coming too, but yeah, it's definitely not the vehicle to use.
Damn, we didn't even think about that. Oh my god. Oh,
yes.
I'm sick right now. Fuck.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point right there. You're getting a copy of your HEX on PLS,
Jesus
38 and 38. Add it up. There you go. There's your true APY.
Jay, do you know who Artemis Capital is? Chris Cole?
Maybe.
All right. Do you know the Boris theory of volatility and how it works? No.
Run us through it.
So, long story short, think of a slinky, right? A slinky, when it gets in motion down the stairs, it just keeps going until it stops, right? Just keeps stacking on itself just in one direction. That's essentially how volatility works. Once you rip that cord, it goes. You can't just stop it. Inflation works in the same way. Trends, price pumps work in the same way. I mean, imagine how people are going to feel after they discover, because this is what's going to happen. Pulse Chain launches, people discover HEX through Pulse Chain. They realize they just missed an opportunity to acquire that level of yield. Because I'm going to tell you something. It never really hit me that that's the base rate for us in terms of APY until right now.
Huh. What is this? What is this magical HEX thing they're talking about? Where do I get some of this?
Yeah, damn. I don't even think
think about that.
I wasn't realizing how much of a percent that actually breaks out to be.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever mentioned it. I never have. I never thought about it 38%
time. So what is that, 120% APY for 15-year stakes?
Basically.
Damn, dude.
Because the longer you hold on to that stake, the higher that APY goes over time. That's what people don't understand. It starts out at 38%.
That is wild.
That's
so I was just talking about the span of 20 years. You're losing hundreds of percent. Well, there we go. We just fixed it.
And this is why we went this route.
Yeah.
Now, understand that this is the starting rate if you're staked 15 years. That is not how the story ends. That's what people do not understand about HEX. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's wild. That's why I like seeing those like stake screenshots when somebody's actually finished a stake and done good accounting to actually see like what they're walking away with in terms of actual hex and in dollars.
Right. It's crazy. I love seeing
It's
it too
wild.
when the end stakes. Yeah. And it's a
Oh
big
my
one.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. It's
Because
like,
we know at the point in time when that started, that was worth nothing. We know it. We can go to the chart. We can click on the transaction, see the dollar value. We can do whatever we want to find out, and we can see that ROI. Now,
yeah, and you can start with $10, $20. There's no minimums to this. That's another huge difference.
Wait till Pulse Chain launches.
Yep. There's still meat on the bone for little players to come in right now.
Those odd
Forever.
lots, yo, and people dismiss the odd lots, but they're important to market activity because without those odd lots, which are regular Joe Schmo buying and selling, right? You need that Joe Schmo because when the institutional buyer isn't there, we see what happens.
Yeah.
When the big buyers are not there, we see what happens. Right now, here's something I need you guys to understand. Hex and how it works is similar to volatility. And I just explained to you how volatility works. I just explained to you how inflation is similar to volatility. Now, we all know, give me a second, guys. All right, they passed by. We all know, we all know that the T-share rate does what? Only
always goes
up and to the right. Only. Now, that is just like what I explained to you about the slinky price, about the slinky motion, right? And how that is how volatility builds on itself over time. Now, what you need to understand is that the T-share rate is essentially that volatility lever for the price action of HEX. Now, how is that? Well, over time, the system is forcing participants that want a unit of yield, which is a T-share in this system, to buy that T-share. Think about that. Over time, it is forcing that purchaser of that T-share to have to buy that T-shirt with X more HEX every time.
Yep. Well, you and I have talked about this quite a few times, Wales, that the only thing the price of HEX is correlated to is the T-share rate.
Literally. And I've broken that down so many times.
And people are selling their free HEX, man, before they even get it. That's stupid.
It's crazy.
It's actually insane. It's not stupid.
Insane.
It's beyond that.
Yeah.
It's beyond that.
Yeah.
It is a mental health condition.
Yeah.
Yo, like seriously, we talked about this the last episode. Like, you need to fucking talk to somebody.
Yeah.
You need to get help.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. There needs to be
need that money.
it should be tied to the suicide helpline.
Something,
like,
dude.
seriously.
Something, because why would you go out of your way so aggressively? Because like let's just take a step back, like to interact on the blockchain, to interact with MetaMask, to interact with these vehicles and these smart contracts. Like, this is very advanced stuff for your average person. Right. So for the average person to have learned all that education only to then fuck themselves so badly is insane.
Yeah, it is.
I wonder if these people are also cutting their wrists, man. I'm not even kidding.
I mean, it kind of goes to highlight the disparity in the user base, right? We assume that everybody is like ourselves, but we're not. That's why I started out streaming talking to myself, literally, and not realizing it, because everybody isn't Wales, and Wales ain't everybody. So I can't talk to myself. I got to talk to everybody. And until I figured that out, I wasn't making the proper connection with the community, right? To get them to understand what was going on here. Because over time, people started understanding me more and more and more and more and more and more. You know, and look, Enoch, you do what you got to do, brother. That's all you can do. Yeah. Because as long as you know the name of the game, you're good. But if you don't know the name of the game, then you're not playing the game correctly, then you're not going to be good. And that's the key, right? You got to really understand. that what you choose to do with your time is a function of the results you're going to experience throughout your life. Simple like that. Hold on, guys, because they're serious this time.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's in your best interest to just keep stacking T-shares to get that, because right now we're setting up to get the duplicate, and you already know what we're up against because we beat that drum every single time Wales and I get on with what the true costs are, what the true inflation rate is, the actual losses, and how much they stack up. And that's your best way to fight that right now.
Yep.
And you're going to end up on the winning end of this. Just imagine, whereas the normal person ends up on the losing end, losing hundreds of percent. You're going to be gaining hundreds of percent over the next 15, 20 years.
Yep, literally. And you don't even realize it. So TLDR stands for too long, do not remember. Don't remember. That's what that stands for. Niggas can't talk about it. Don't forget.
Oh yeah,
he's here to talk, but he can't talk about it.
I got some juicy stuff, but I can't talk about it right now. Juicy alpha for you guys.
Well, speaking of alpha, for those that might have missed it yesterday, I did announce towards the end of the stream for those that are accredited investors that are looking to point people in a 506c registered security product, SEC product. Our HEX Investment Trust is working on a solution that will allow people to roll over their 401ks and IRAs into the trust, which is something a lot of people have been asking for. So we finally found a solution, and we'll be close to finding that or solidifying that bridge for the community soon. So, or for people that know people in the community, because again, this isn't for Hexicans. So just
so you guys, all of you viewers out there listening, I hope you guys get what Wales just said, is that prior to going public, we can help you guys get an accreditation letter saying that you're an accredited investor, and you can do a self-directed IRA or 401k into the HEX Investment Trust. So if you already have retirement funds from like an old job or something you contribute to every year, there's another way to get exposure with that legacy money to the HEX product and get those yields. So,
yeah,
which is crazy.
Yes, it was a really good meeting. It was a really good meeting yesterday, and we're just waiting for all the I's to be dotted and the T's to be crossed, and then we're ready to start taking self-directed IRAs and 401ks.
Yeah, and that's a big move because that's going to help a lot of people secure their retirement in a tax-efficient fashion if they make the right choices ahead of time.
Yep.
So if you don't know, you should be doing a Roth IRA.
If you can get away with the Roth, do it.
If you can.
But it's going to be really difficult for us to provide evidence that you're an accredited investor and just now contributing to a Roth. So hopefully, if you had a Roth before all this happened, but there are still some tax delayed benefits for the 401k and the IRA. So the traditional or the simple IRA.
Yeah, I mean, once you throw it within an entity, I think it works out a little bit better, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Well, and then you're going to out earn any yield that you get in the S&P or anywhere else. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's more than a wash. It's a net gain.
Yeah, and this kind of makes me think of what Jay said earlier, how he likes looking at those tweets when those stakes end. Because I do too. Yeah. I like to imagine that that's what my future is going to look like. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. That's what I'm saying.
I want to be like Kinetics and RG too,
Wait, you're supposed to stake this?
Right?
Why didn't you tell me that? Well, all this time I've just been holding on to my little shy shrimp bag without staking it.
Let's talk about Maxi for a little bit, because all that tells me is a lot of y'all out there is lying.
Yep.
Y'all ain't staked. Where the hell 83 million HEX come from after
I'm staked.
Stack phases?
100% staked, bro. I'm 100% staked.
Yo, after
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Y'all lying out here. Y'all can't
lying, motherfuckers.
Y'all here lying. Talking about y'all stake. Y'all ain't stake. I'm watching.
That's a good point. Because we would have seen a nice little price pump.
Yeah, exactly.
If that was all cash coming into the system, buying
not.
fresh hex.
Sure
You full of shit.
That's right. Got him.
Got him.
Yep, because 83 million hex did not move the price up to 40, 30 cent or whatever it would have done. So nice try, folks.
Great point. At least you guys
point.
that do have liquid hex, at least get it staked via Maximus, guys. Right?
Kinetics, I don't know if you can see the screen, bro. I'm sorry, but I don't know if you can see the screen, but this is probably the best comment I've ever seen.
I love it.
Now say that like Samuel L. Jackson voice.
Right.
Even better.
The T says, motherfucker, do you have them?
Damn, that's like another intro. That's like another intro piece, ain't it?
Oh my God, I can hear him saying it, man. It's
yes. I can hear him saying it in like that Snakes on a Plane, like hyper extended Samuel L. Jackson voice.
Yo, we gotta get him on something, man. That's the voice we gotta get. If we could get him for the narration, I'd be a happy camper. But I don't think the production team will want him. He's not.
I don't know. I kind of want to get him on a stream with you. Or that like break something like the reverb.
We all right?
Some kind of reaction that would change space and time forever.
A black hole in the freaking universe.
Exactly. That'd be crazy.
Oh my God, that is funny. This is funnier.
Yeah, that's a good trifecta right there.
Right? Knip. Yeah, where'd that come from? That must have been RG, man. We need to get the old man on here. Get his ass to work.
Something to kind of go back to, right? We were talking about communities and what they've done, and like this same kind of dog shit behavior from 2017 from the influencers. Look at what DS has just created in the last year or 2 years. We got
really.
Right? We got the documentary, so that's going to bring more people when it spins Netflix and that eventually launches. There's some more exposure for you. We got MCA, so now let's deal with how to manage your money and how to actually turn this into long-term wealth instead of just lottery syndrome. We got the HEX Investment Trust, and we got like 7 other things in the pipe. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
And we're just getting
started. Let's talk about that for a second. And I know like Kinetics catches shade sometimes. Like, why, dude?
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, go get yourself checked out. Name another community that's gone out and done this in the last year. Last 12 months.
Hold on.
Has fucking CZ done this for you?
Hold on.
Has fucking Sam Bankman done this for you?
At all.
At all, yeah, dude.
Talking about the last 12 months. How about at all?
Yeah, good point.
All Sam Bankman take your money.
Yeah, they'll take your money. Make sure you click on those links in the description below.
Oh yeah, affiliate links. They'll take your money to come and lose at the casino. And then he's putting together Crypto Bahamas.
Real quick, shout out to my son.
Clinton.
Real quick, sorry, I just got to give a shout out to my son, Chad Donner Swans. Thanks, brother. Thanks, son, for.
He's looking ripped, man. That runs in the fucking Kinetics.
Right.
Damn.
Oh man! I know things ended poorly between your mom and I, so I know she doesn't like to talk about me. But you don't gotta hate on your poppy.
Damn, bro, cold-hearted.
Cold as ice.
But yeah, just let that sink in for a sec, guys. Like, what's Sam working on right now? He's got a Crypto Bahamas event coming up where he's got fucking Bill Clinton speaking and Tony Blair speaking. These are war criminals and all but convicted.
Yo,
the other shit.
About that.
That's what they're putting together.
Talk about that for fucking a solid 5 minutes. So this guy that is the CEO of FTX, which they are trying to make the leading exchange within the so-called industry.
Yep.
Is hosting in the Bahamas a cryptocurrency conference where the main speakers headlining the event, the marquee folk, are a Sir Bill Clinton, which we all know who he is,
Yep.
Epstein affiliate, Disney Island protege, or Disney World protege, Disney protege, whatever you want to call him.
Well,
And
Epstein's good buddy, by the way.
yeah. And who the hell is the other guy? I can't remember right now.
Tony Blair.
Tony Blair, fucking of all people. Are you kidding me? Tony Blair, one of the biggest war criminals to exist. Excuse me, folks.
And where are they having this? In the Bahamas, which is by whose island? Like, come on,
by
dude.
the good buddy's island, yeah.
He donated $5 million to Biden. Like, guys, it ain't that hard to put together.
Yeah.
It ain't that hard to put together. And they want him. He's obviously on track to be the #1 exchange. He's following the Zuckerberg path. So
That's
give
right.
it 2 more years. He'll be #1.
Yep. He'll be in all your phones. You won't be able to access crypto unless it's through his exchange, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know the deal.
Yeah.
Kinetics.
That's what they got planned for you.
Yeah.
That's what they got planned for you. We're over here doing real shit. And they're over here doing Mickey Mouse shit. Literally Mickey Mouse.
Literally.
Yep.
They're trying to create a Disneyland for you so you can never leave.
So
that includes your money.
Some of y'all gotta get your head straight on who's the good guys and who's the fucking bad guys in all this. Don't get mad because you didn't come up with it yourself. Don't get jelly on us. Like, get focused. Stay focused.
Pretty much. And
Kinetics
will find those t-shirts soon enough. Don't worry.
Yeah, they're still on a boat, man.
I'm not telling you until you get a Freedom of Information Act coming down.
Just to find out what happened to those t-shirts. Oh man!
Damn, that could be.
I sent him to an undisclosed Bahama island off the coast of Epstein Island.
Shit, they're gone.
They're gonna be at the event. They're being held hostage by the enemy.
Yeah, right.
I'd like to, by the time this is all done with, I'd like to do a documentary on those fucking t-shirts.
That's a good one, bro. That's a good one.
Gotta have add that music that they get the sad music playing in there.
Oh, too funny, yo. Y'all killing me. Yeah, I had a long day at work today. I needed to stream today. This shit was killing me. Wow.
This is good. Good.
Yeah, I needed to freak.
I think, Jay, you know what we should do? When I finally get my hand on those t-shirts, you know what we should do is we should totally do like a commercial like they do and they're helping the kids in Africa for only $14.99 a month. You can support a lost t-shirt.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Something to think about.
And like get like a dirty one that's been like drugged to the mud and we're like standing next to a puddle.
Oh my god. You guys are ridiculous, bro.
I like that.
Let's pull up V1 here.
Yeah, let's look at some hex charts here, baby.
Let's get jiggy with it, as they say. They say a lot of things. Come on. All right.
I get them charts up.
Yes, sir.
We got time, you know. Like, I know a lot of people get caught up in like what's gonna be the price action before the pulse launch, going into the pulse launch.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like,
doesn't even matter.
My first response is who cares. My second response is not enough.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not gonna be enough anyway, so you might as well just chill.
Yeah.
My response to that is, why? You planning on selling before the fork? What? Like,
well, we already know 83 million in liquid hex just showed up, so we already know the shit.
Right. Exactly.
They out here stunting and flexing. So I gotta question some of you now.
That's it. People exposed, bro, in a major way. They don't even realize it.
Show your address or you are a scam.
So look, from the first high, post this initial high, right, which is really just launch phase and all that. Still, I mean, we're still really in launch phase up until big payday, right? So the market for Hex really didn't start until here. Right. And I think people don't realize that. That's the reality. this has literally been the true existence of Hex. Period.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Mhm.
That's a really great point.
Everything prior to that is launch phase. Doesn't really matter. But we'll talk about it. So we didn't make a new high from this first major high for 163 days. Now, I never looked at it like this, but I didn't realize I hadn't looked at it like that. I was just looking at it from a very, I don't know what the hell I was looking at, to be honest, but for whatever reason, 294 days made sense when I was looking at it initially, but no, 163 days makes sense. That's the time from most recent high to new high,
Mhm.
right? So when we zoom in on this chart, excuse me, seeing starting here, new high being made when? There. Right after that day, right? So clearly 66025 versus 65825. So new high. Boom. 163 days. So that's how long it took the market after going sideways. The first time or that time, major pump, right? And the second major pump in my mind is going to be this after post big payday. So from there, we go to this chart, right? So that means that we went up straight for lots of days. Let's
Many,
see.
many days.
Yeah, many, many days. 303 days to be precise.
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
Almost a year straight up bull market.
Straight up.
This is like some 2014, 2015 Bitcoin shit right here.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean?
It's pretty ridiculous.
It
So
is.
sideways, which is what we're looking at now here in yellow. Let's put some color on that backdrop too, since they want to make it freaking all pink or yellow or whatever. All right, it's a little more palatable. We've been going sideways for 213 days. Now, to me, excuse me, to me, it makes sense that we are going sideways longer than this first pump because the first pump wasn't much of anything. You know, we really just went up 112x or whatever it was. Let's lay it out like I've done it before.
Holy cow, dude.
Right.
That's like some robot shit.
We can't hear you at all, bro.
Try again. We can't hear you at all.
Yeah, your connection is bad.
That was wild.
Yeah.
So understand basic cycle theory.
That's what happens when you're hanging your cows.
Oh, there we go. There we go. We got you.
There we go.
I said, sorry, I was petting the cows. So imagine what in your industry if you had said that to them. The industry oh, we only went up 120x. What? You only went up 120x?
Imagine that.
They would lose their mind.
Imagine that. People don't get that. Yeah. So we went up 130 days, almost the equivalent of 128x, right? And as we know, the natural distribution of hex is based on log base 2. Right? I've shown that a million different ways, and that's the actual distribution, the normal distribution of hex. Actually, it's based on the log base 2 power values. That's the actual distribution. So we're looking at 128 being an output of whatever the system was doing prior to that point in time, right? And that's what we're seeing here. Oh, sorry, wrong chart. Here. Okay. And then what happened post that point is we went sideways, the market cooled off, and then it hit a new high, then it reset. Now, when the market reset, what it did was it ramped, right, for 303 days. Let me actually get rid of this. Sorry. And we went all-time low to all-time high, or big payday low to big payday to post big payday high of 256x. 257 is as close as 256 gets, right?
Which is stupid.
Which is stupid. That's right. And what's the next level? Oh, my, how'd that happen? Kind of weird, isn't it?
Math is weird.
Very weird. I hypothesize that the next pump we're going to see is going to be the equivalent of a 512x. Why? Because the t-shirt rate doesn't care about you and what you think, just like it doesn't care about me and what I think. So, given the first two iterations of what the system has been forced to do, I expect this to happen. Now, what would that look like?
I was gonna say, so what does that look like? Will?
Yeah, right.
Tell me in dollars. Tell me in dollars.
Yeah, basically. So far we're going sideways 213 days, right? This is 163. So that's 213 minus 163. That's 50 days. So could this continue going sideways like this? Right, because it stays looking weak, and it just, you know, it's a pain in the butt. We're like, when are we going to keep going? And I mean, if you look at this chart, it looks like the end of this month is a pretty good candidate once again, because when you go to HEX.VISION and you look at the staking or the end stakes that we have coming out here shortly for the rest of the month, it's kind of looking like this is the end of the pain. Right, because what this means is you don't have any more people that are exiting just because their 2-year stake is up. Pretty much what's going on. So give me a second.
Yeah, let's pull it up. Also, too, like, just to kind of support this with basic common sense, is like every cycle is usually bigger than the last, right? Which is how it tends to go in everything.
Yep.
The bust this time around is going to be bigger globally, economically than it was last time, because it has to. There's more derivatives stacked on top. There's more participants. There's more shit in the mix.
Literally.
Yeah.
When the base falls, the rest of the house, the cards is going to come tumbling down.
That's right.
And it's going the opposite direction with HEX.
Yep. Isn't that funny?
It's very hilarious.
If anything, it'll cause an exponential growth in HEX and other digital assets.
Yeah.
Precisely. So by the end of April, we're looking at 2 billion HEX expiring, right? And then after that, it just collapses after
Falls
the
off
first
a
week
cliff.
of May.
Yep. Falls off a cliff.
So I think we can expect some pretty nice price action from then on.
And so what is 512 stacked on top of what we got now? What is that? Somebody said $66 in the chat. Is that true?
Nah, it's like 50 something.
No, you don't take it from today's price, right? You take it from the beginning of that real cycle. Yeah.
Nah, from the low. That's what I'm doing it from. I'm doing it from the low.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. So let's get to that.
Yes,
so right
please.
now, I'm using this. I'm using this low that's generated here on V1. Which is 10.3, which is
damn it, Will, just give me the answer.
You stupid. It's like $50, man. It's like $50.
Which let's just put that into perspective. That sounds crazy right now.
I mean, that's at 511x. So $52.50 at 511x.
The reason why that sounds crazy is because we're in pennies right now. And once you get into dollars, stuff starts to become more digestible. We saw it with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, like, you know, the moves that we used to see, especially when we saw that $3,000 low, is, you know, you got traders trading off of $50, $100 moves. Mm-hmm. Now you couldn't do that. Nobody even bothers trading off $50, $100 moves now because it's moving thousands. So it's that same sort of dynamic and metrics that you'll see as soon as HEX breaks over $1. People start weighing it and measuring it in dollars.
Yep. I mean, it's
so
exactly
60,
how it
50 is nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've talked about this a lot. That unit bias goes away. It's no longer a penny stock.
Yeah.
Precisely. And that changes the dynamic of everything because you no longer view it as some just random thing that's just there that costs a few cents. You're forced to take it seriously. You're forced to look at it because it now costs dollars.
Yes. And we've talked about this. There's a bunch of people selling right now, selling hundreds of millions, thinking, oh, yeah, well, I got billions. So that's where unit bias comes in to bite you in the ass again on the other end of it. It's just because you have billions doesn't mean that 12 cents selling is a fucking good deal, dude.
Yep.
Not
Right.
when the sky and infinity is literally the number we're going for. We're going for infinity. We're going for break the whole motherfucking financial system. Make it $1 billion each, $1 trillion each. That's what we're going for. So your 12 cents looks really fucking stupid in that, doesn't it?
I mean,
Yeah.
how the hell did Bitcoin get to $60,000? I mean, that wasn't a mistake.
Yeah, man.
I mean, look at these things go vertical.
Yep.
This is Bitcoin. It looks familiar, no?
So what if it stops? What if HEX stops at 60,000? That's cool. Let's just play with that for a second. So we're talking, and again, we're talking about $60 versus $60,000.
I mean, do I need to put up hexcalc.net?
I mean, how bad do you feel selling hundreds of millions at fucking 12 cents? Why are you doing that to yourself?
Well, if you're mentally ill, you may
That's
not
what I'm
feel it at
saying.
all. May not feel the pain.
I mean, let's just say it goes to $130.
You're assuming they are a rational human being.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. With logic and grounded in something, some sort of system or structure.
Correct.
That makes
So
sense.
just 20,000 hex gets you 2.81 T shares. Okay. And in the future, at $130 from today's price of 13 cents, that nets you a gain in P&L from $2,604 all the way out to 2.6 million. Oh, that's like a 10,000x or something. What the fuck? I wasn't even trying to do that. It just
That's
happened.
crazy.
Wow.
It just happened.
At $130. Okay. Yeah, fuck, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Building 2-0. So yeah.
I want to
Look at your
remind
principal.
everyone.
Look at your interest, your yield.
So time out for a sec. Let me remind everyone of something. Three Arrows Capital, all these venture funds that are involved in crypto now. Do you know when they take a position, most of them what they're doing? It is the moon or zero.
Yep.
That is the position. They're not fucking selling on you. Some of them are, right? But the bigger ones are not. It is when we take a position, and they will tell you flat out. When they take a position, it is the fucking moon, meaning infinity, or zero. That's where I get this from. That's why I'm so resolute in this perspective. Is because they're doing that with fucking dog shit meme coins, with farming and yielding and rug pulls and all of this fucking shit. And we're over here with something solid, with foundation, with a 2-year track record. And we're having that same conversation. That's why it's so easy to have that conversation over here with something real called HEX, and versus what they're having that conversation about. Maker and fucking, all these DeFi, Aave, right? All that is just money laundering, moving around and from pool to pool to pool. There's no real value in that yet. There might be in the future, but right now there's really not.
Yep. Back.
And they're having those feelings and those vibes about that. So how come you can't have 1/4 of that feeling in something fucking real like HEX? Again, get your mind right.
Literally.
Yep.
Come on, dude.
And going back to that unit bias, guys, like there's too many people that think that the circulating supply count matters. That doesn't matter. What matters is it doesn't matter how much of the coin is circulating or is available on the contract. What matters is what is in supply, guys. And is that supply finite? Is there a set number? Even if there's a small inflation rate, is that a set number? So definitively what that is. Wales and I actually had a private call earlier today. You don't know that with the Fed. The Fed says they printed $4 trillion, but they might have really printed 10 or 12. You have no. How are you going to find out? There's no way to verify that via code.
Yeah.
No way to verify it.
Yeah.
So you guys need to. Some of you guys are still stuck in that mind. That mindset that there's too many out there. There's no way it could ever reach that price. You guys got to get rid of that. It's a false view. It's a false binary, because that is not the truth.
Right.
Which kind of looks really positive for Bitcoin too. Like, why is Bitcoin only 40,000 right now when there's only 21 million of them? It's the same hampering. It's the same hamstring that they're pulling on themselves over there, that they're pulling on HEX, that they're pulling on everything.
Yes, please do not super chat me. Build your HEX bags. Pump our bags. Do not.
Yes.
Yeah. That means nothing, and YouTube takes way too much of that shit. So fuck it.
YouTube fucking yanks your 40%. So I'll be okay with your fiat.
We will, however, We will, however, take your 401ks and IRAs and put them in the
Yes,
HEX
sir.
investment trust
Sure.
if you're interested
Yeah,
in
we
doing
want
so.
that as long as you are an accredited investor.
And if you're not certain, we have a firm you can speak with to affirm that for you.
For sure. Easy peasy.
100%, man. So this,
Got-
like, everything we talk about and everything we're building, it's like it's on a whole different level. And it's because it's on such a different level, so far away from what everyone's used to. They don't fucking actually understand it.
Right.
Well, it took me a little while, and I'm building it, or well, I'm helping build it. I've got the help of these two bright gentlemen on the stream here, but it took me a while to figure it out in the middle of building it, and I still don't think it's sunk into the hexagons yet just how powerful these tools are that we're building, all the way from MCA to the Hex Investment Trust. Like, you guys want protections and you want that yield and you want actual money to come into this, because we haven't seen real money come into Hex yet. And look at what the price action has done. Can you imagine when we do go viral and real money does come in? So we're helping facilitate that, guys.
Not even funny.
Yeah, like, I want everyone to be rich as fuck so that you can go and just be a disaster and be a loud ass motherfucker to whatever movement or whatever thing you want to go change and shake up. You can then go do it.
Yep.
Like, I believe that everyone on the planet deserves to be rich, because only then can you figure out what you actually want to do here. Only then can you free yourself from
100%.
all the enslavement to go and do something. At
It's
that
the
point,
only way.
I assume you're going to go be a deviant. And you're going to go get in some people's faces. You're going to go shake up some industries. You're going to go shake up some markets and change the fucking structure and the system of things. That's how we do it.
It's the only way.
That's how we do it.
It's the only way. How do you supplant the system? By becoming it.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. And I'm cheering for you, Hexicans. It's in our future. I'm cheering for you guys.
I mean, look, in Bitcoin time, we're really only starting here. Really, is when everything started for them. August, July. So this is what Hex is 2 plus 3. So 7 plus that's 12. October 2012 is basically where we should be now in terms of performance. But I think we've already far surpassed them in terms of performance because we started with so many zeros, right? They did not, so it makes it easier for us to catapult in terms of ROI, and we see that, right? Like, that's one of the first charts I ever showed, and that's why it's important to know it, right? I mean, Hex is all the way up here. It's not even close, and this is. Damn, this is almost 30 days ago. I need to update this chart because it's 870, date 870. So, oh no, I forget. This is minus 2 weeks, so it's not that old. Never mind. It's probably like 20 days old. But this is the strength in the performance, right? In terms of relative time. When Bitcoin started, I mean, it had no price performance really for the first, as you guys saw. What the hell is it? First series of days, because it was just nonsensical transactions within the network. It wasn't an actual market trading back and forth until this point in time.
Yeah.
Right after that pizza thing on TV, right? The Papa John's pizza purchase for 10,000 Bitcoin. Until then, nobody cared about Bitcoin. So that is what you're seeing on this chart. That's how long it took. And only then. And look, you can even see it's the same, right? It's the same fluctuations is what you're seeing. So as you guys can see, let me zoom this in for you. Let me make it a little easier for you to see. You compare these two, right? The fluctuations are exactly the same. Oh, that didn't work. So you can see that it's basically the same. It's the same chart. So it's important information to have in your grasp when you're maybe trying to onboard somebody or explain to somebody the power of Hex versus other cryptos if you're at that level of conversation, and not just talking about basic crypto, because truth be told, we're out here talking about going to $50, but most people don't even know that Hex exists, and most people don't even know crypto exists. So it's a whole nother level of conversation, right, that we even need to have in the first place before we even get to that Oh, very nice. Just got word that Mr. Griffin is going to be on DS
Oh,
again
hell
as the
yeah.
captain in May. Boom. Thank you, Crypto King. I'm pretty sure you made that happen, bro, because you're always doing crazy shit.
Yeah, he's always lining shit up in the background. I love that
Yeah.
guy.
He's the man.
Always, always.
He's crazy, bro. Crazy.
That's the Jekyll Island guy, in case you didn't know.
Yes. For
He
those
is
that do
the OG, original writer of the book about how the Fed was created. And he did it in a time when there was no internet. There was library and fucking books.
Yep.
And firsthand accounts and checking those firsthand accounts, because he published in a time when integrity really mattered. And that's the difference between a book like that and a book that you could just publish today, searching around the internet.
Right. I mean, that information just wasn't put together like that back then
No.
at all.
He went through so much to put that together. Holy
Yeah.
cow, man.
It's crazy. I mean, all the legal documentation this guy had to go through, all the transcripts, the congressional transcripts. I mean, forget about it. What? Oh my God.
Yeah, he had to go to like a library, like a fucking library, bro, and like dig through old paperwork.
Yeah.
To find this and books and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like write letters to the government bodies to get stuff released. What the fuck?
Yep.
Like old school.
Yeah. I mean, imagine. People are complaining about 4 hours a day, but they don't have a clue what it was like back in the day. Everything was analog. There wasn't no way to access anything at all.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy. So, these are things we got to understand, respect, and show respect, right? Because this is how we all become better. This is how we all get educated. And I mean, it's thanks to him that a lot of us know what we know today, more than likely.
100%. And he led the way to like the next iteration of that same book being written, and Naomi Prince and her research, which came after
she's great.
his, right?
Mm-hmm.
She syndicated a lot of his stuff that he already put in all the work for.
Yep.
And that's how markets work. Markets tend to stack on top of each other like that.
That's right. And that's why we're going over the t-shirt rate and how it works. And I mean, look at this value, right? That pink line is the t-shirt index, and it's higher than the hex line. Hint, right? I mean, it's almost 3x the delta there. And when you go out to just the T-shares versus Ethereum and versus Bitcoin charts, I mean, it's not even a contest.
And it makes sense that it's like that, because every new iteration of some sort of valuable crypto should be better than the last. And that's why I firmly believe that you'll see Bitcoin tend to behave in the long term more like gold than like some outperforming cryptocurrency magical asset, because it was the first to come along. It started off as nothing, and it's not going to be adopted as the peer-to-peer cash system that people thought it was. It is just going to be a store of value. So because of that, and because of the restraints that exist on that network, like we all seen in 2017 when the network was completely bogged down, then you're just not going to get the same long-term appreciation that people think.
Well, not to mention.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, I don't know where it's going to end, but it's going to eventually kind of just hit this level, and that's going to be the $2,000 level that we see with gold. And it's just going to that's going to constantly be the level that it comes and touches every 5-10 years, and that's it.
And all these Wall Street traders are touting for this Bitcoin ETF. That's going to be the final nail in the coffin that gets rid of the volatility and creates this stable value that stays the same over the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah, because they want to be able to trade this off the books and hide money and money launder through trading Bitcoin. That's why they want this to actually exist. They don't want this to exist so that you can get rich. They don't want this to exist so that you can get out of the middle class or the lower earner class. They want this so that they can wash more of their own money and they can make more money and spread out their books. They don't want this for you. You don't matter in this equation, just to be clear. They want this for themselves.
Yep.
100%. So, okay, let's go back in time. CME was touted to launch in 2017. Myself and all the other moon boys, the Bitcoin maxis, were talking about $40,000 Bitcoin. It hits like barely 20, and then as soon as it launches, that marked the top. So when the ETFs come, guess what it's going to mark? Probably the top. And it might have even just been the announcement of the ETFs coming was the top, which was the 69,000 that we saw. That might even be the top. So this time the cycle might be a little bit different. But I can assure you that when they actually launch and there's trillions of dollars sitting in the ETFs, it'll behave the same way as gold and the same way as silver. You can go back and look at those charts. This is why ETFs are so bad.
Yeah,
And
this
it's
is
hilarious
the
to
day.
me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, dude.
I was just going to say, it's like Bitcoin Magazine, who took down the interview with Richard Hart and said that Hex was a scam in the comments section and acted like complete little kids.
Yep.
This is the same company, the same Twitter account that is promoting and cheering ETFs. So they're either stupid or complicit.
100%.
And I don't care which.
I'm
So
gonna go
ETFs
with the
are not going to save Bitcoin. They're going to destroy it.
100%. That's the objective.
Yes. Get it right.
This is why we're highlighting the high for the release of the Bitcoin and Ethereum futures. What did they do? Cap it. Literally.
Yep.
Google it. This is
Bang.
the date.
Bang.
And just to show you,
Looks like some good food. Makes me hungry.
2000.
I shared that quote too from the old CME head. We'll tame Bitcoin. Said 2017 before futures launched. We'll tame Bitcoin. I bet you will.
Let's see what this says.
Well, they own most of it, so of course they'll tame it.
Oh, it's like I almost know what I'm talking about. Damn.
December 18, 2017.
CME Group, the world's leading and most diverse derivatives marketplace, today announced that it has self-certified the initial listing of Bitcoin futures, of its Bitcoin futures contract to launch Monday, December what? 18, 2017. Now what are we looking at
fucking
here?
literal top.
The literal top.
Yeah, man.
What I said. Talk to me nice or don't talk to me at all. This is too easy, folks. Nobody's playing games here. Understand that you're only going to receive facts here all the time. So what is the normal distribution for HEX? You best believe is log base 2. So what that means is that over time, you're going to get gyration after gyration after gyration. That's just going to be phenomenally
It's going to be stupid.
unfathomable.
Yeah, it's going to be stupid. There's so many zeros, I don't even know what the fuck that is on the right-hand column.
Doesn't even
Holy
matter
shit.
because we're going to fucking have it all.
Yeah. And then, like, think of this for a second. That is actually the starting line. Like, you guys think you're in a race
It's not
this.
a race.
We haven't even started yet. The minute you get billions and trillions and you're now an economic player and you can start to move markets and have an opinion that people will listen to because you have the tool that they value as important, aka money, that's the fucking starting line.
Simple.
Yeah.
That's the starting line. All this shit is foreplay. We're just
not
getting
even
warmed
halfway there. I mean, look, BlackRock taking on managerial duty of USDC's admission of defeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Period.
Yeah,
So it's gonna come a point in time where all that USDC is gonna get swapped for other cryptos. It's just how it works.
Well, yeah, there's no price goes up action on USDC.
No,
They got to leverage it.
that's right. They gotta find a way to put it on a balance and be able to use it. That's how it works.
Yep. Well, you gentlemen are lovely. I love you guys. We'll see you guys soon. Just got home from petting the cows, so I gotta go love on the family now.
Have fun, man.
Sounds
A
good,
pleasure,
bro.
brother. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, you bet.
Peace,
See you,
man.
bro.
But yeah, I mean, these are important anecdotes, right? Because this highlights how the system works. That's why we review these kinds of things. I mean, imagine they're not ready for what's coming. This is just 20,000 stake HEX. Plenty of guys here got way more than 20,000 HEX.
Yeah, and that, again, going back to my point, is like there really is so much room for the little guy. Let's quote unquote the little guy.
Mm-hmm.
The little guy is going to become the big guy in this system, in this structure. And
That's
that does not exist anywhere else on this fucking planet that I know of. And please, if I'm wrong, show me.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't go do this. We just pointed this out. You can't go do this in a traditional legacy vehicle. You can't go do this in other cryptos. You can't go do this with guaranteed ROI with these debit cards and these credit cards. You just can't get that. You got to come to the table with $250,000, $500,000, $1 million just to get started in that game. We can get started with fucking $20 in this game. And we can change our life with $20 fucking dollars. There's people doing it. I can't wait to see the results of these case studies that people are running. Like, oh, I just threw $100 in for this. Let's see what it turns out to be. Oh, I threw $20 in. Let's do this. This guy didn't want to buy it. He wanted to buy a snake instead. I saw this the other day in my Twitter feed. So I went and staked the same amount he paid for the snake in a stake. And let's see what I end up getting out of this. I can't wait to see shit like this.
It's crazy, man. Now, this guy right here, this is the type of thing that life is about. When you don't understand something, you got to understand you don't understand something and take that risk head on. Because the only way to get to a point where you learn whether that was the right decision or not is by taking that risk on and then learning. And that's basically what we all did early days, right? This is what being an early adopter is all about.
Yeah.
Literally. As a gentleman in college, that is the move to make. No brainer.
It is, yeah.
It's the risk
the life experience,
yeah,
all of it, yeah.
Imagine, when did Steve Jobs start school or Apple?
Yeah.
Not when he was 50. Right? So this is the time to take on calculated risks. And that's what life is all about, making decisions based on intelligent assessment, risk assessment. That's all, right?
Yeah.
We can't ask for more than that because life doesn't give us more than that. And that's really all it's about.
Yeah, like the RR, the risk to reward on this trade to be involved in this product is pretty fucking great, if you ask me. The upside is retarded. The downside is minimized.
That's why having at least one T-share is a win. And here's the thing. If you can afford a whole T-share, that's perfectly okay. Because the idea is that you're acquiring shares, period. Because that means that you're acquiring yield. That means you're getting paid more and more every day and you're earning more crypto every day. And as you can see, that leads to positive results. Because it went from 112x to a 256x with a potential calculated projection of a 512x, because the T-share rate does not stop doing what it does.
Yeah, and the more shares that you're getting now, you're going to get duplicated before Pulse launches, which is why you can tell that people, again, to beat this drum, people fundamentally don't understand what they are holding. Because if they did, they would not be what? Selling.
Period.
There would not be a single motherfucker selling right now if they actually got it. Just like we saw that 83 million just show up magically for Maxi, huh? Because everyone's staked. Everyone's staked 15 years, boss. 15 years of stake max, boss.
Now, let me see. I got a spreadsheet here.
Okay.
And this spreadsheet can tell me exactly what $83 million would do. Okay. So I'm going to let y'all know what it is right now. And let's see. What would $83 million do? Give me a second. 83, 1, 2, 3.
Whales spreading the sheets. I like that. I like that.
Let's see. Give me a second. Okay, 0.5. Oh. Hold on. A little short there. A little too high.
I don't know how many days left for Maxi. Can somebody confirm that? Somebody's asking, is it 9 days left for Maxi? Something like that. 9 or 10?
Something like that. I think they started the 16th. Yeah. Right? That would have took us to 30 cents, 32 cents, thereabouts. If $83 million or 83 million, no, I'm
HEX
sorry.
were acquired, right?
Yeah, well, what's the dollar value? I'm sorry, the dollar value isn't that much. It was just 83 million HEX that was found. I'm here thinking $83 million.
Yeah.
Like 2 million or some shit like that. Can't remember what the number is, but let me see.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that real quick if you want to dive into that. what
Yeah, I
million
do.
hex is in dollars, and then how much that would actually move the market.
Ooh, Wolfram.
Figure that out. Ooh, my favorite
Yes,
customer.
sir. 12.9, 83. Let me see if I can just pull up the actual contract information. Maximus Dow. Let's see, because they post it
Yeah,
all the time.
8 days, 23 hours left. Boom.
Okay,
There you
nice.
go. 39 of you need to hit the like button. Okay, let's do it. Because there should be a 1-to-1 ratio of likes to views to participants on this live stream
Get
right
it
now. You guys
together,
agree?
guys.
I mean, come on.
Get it together. We're in this fight together.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me see. Yeah, 8 days, 23 hours, 57 minutes. Where is the contract? Give me that information, folks. Where are you?
He likes with 2 accounts. Good. Like with every account you got. Let's do it, man.
Oh, too funny.
This is like, stream like this and a channel like Whales is another filtering mechanism, if you ask me.
Yeah, it really is.
So it's cool. It's cool with one person showing up, a million. It really don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me either, because at the end of the day, it's about getting the information out there into the right people's hands. This is why I still do this. I get no benefit from this. This is just to put out the information.
What would be cool is to see the next iteration of people who stack on top of what you've created, what we talk about, like that next iteration, just like what we talked about with Griffin and then Naomi Prince coming and stacking on top. It's the same thing over and over again. Bitcoin and then other cryptos stacking on top. So the next version of people that come and stack on top of us is going to be fucking impressive.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be really crazy. It's gonna almost be envy driving, right? Like, damn, these motherfuckers are good.
Maybe it'll just be AI. I don't know. Maybe that's
who knows, man.
Maybe putting us too high. But
it's gonna be interesting for sure. It's gonna be super interesting to see who follows up on what we're doing, because we're working hard. Nobody's playing games over here.
Oh hell yeah, this is a full-time job, baby.
Yeah, people are gonna have to really come to the plate. They got 10 million USD, 11 million USD, so good for them. Congratulations to Maximus. How many people are holding this thing? Am I looking at this right? It's got to be the right one.
Yeah, I think it'll hit the 150 mil hex that they want.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident.
It better.
84 million. I mean, we're still got a whole 8 days left. I don't see how it can't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be kind of crazy to me if it didn't.
So that's 10 mil. So that would have moved the market. What?
I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
Hold on. I got a spreadsheet here where I put that information in there. Just don't show.
I'm gonna go grab some water. I'll be right back.
Good, bro. Go right ahead. Yeah, that would have moved the market to 15 cents. We definitely didn't say 15 cent move. So that's that. All right, makes it pretty straightforward. And that's all we can ask for. Analysis. We watching y'all. Watching all of y'all. So this is cool though, right? Because we got all these people that at least understand Maxi. And you can't ask for more than that, because now this hex is all gonna disappear. And that's what you want. You want that hex to disappear. Let's see. So we already went over that. Yeah, so talking about 20,000 hex, right? At the max and 10,000 X. I mean, you got to understand that this is just not found anywhere, and this is what makes T-shares so valuable. Literally, most important thing I probably said all stream. Right? Literally. So this is the importance of understanding T-shares being staked, understanding that it's not just going to come out of nowhere, right? These things happen because you have to understand the name of the game. Warren Buffett understood the name of the game. all he does is buy and hold. Let's see. Okay, I guess other people have Googled the same thing. What is a Warren Buffett investment strategy? Let's see. Who hasn't heard blah 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 da, 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 da. Okay, let's see. Okay. So rather than focus on supply and demand intricacies of the stock market, Buffett looks at companies as a whole. Now, what's the analogous relation to that in cryptocurrency? That is looking at the entire stack of the protocol, right? What is its utility? Does it work? Does it make sense? Do people care about that? Why does it exist? There's a reason that so many of us get on stream and get excited.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
We understand what we're talking about in most cases, right? I mean, everybody isn't a retired 25-year-old. Shout out to Valley of Brand. And that's
Yeah,
courtesy
no
of
kidding.
Hex.
Hey,
Right?
he's so far ahead of the game. Holy shit! Just
It's not
listening to this and understanding this at 25. Oh my god. Dude.
I wish.
Yeah. If we just had like 1 million of that, we'd be in a different place as a people. Holy shit, dude.
100%.
Even 100 people like that, and out in the world doing shit. Man,
and think about it. There's 300 of us.
Yeah.
Wow. This is because it's true.
Yeah. Well, it's like this. The more you start to pay attention to the legacy markets and the macro happening there, you can't help but be more bullish over here. It's impossible. It's impossible.
That's right.
So that's why it's so fun to pay attention to that shit and watch that disaster of a dumpster fire continue to burn itself down while everyone and the hardest part of this, understand the hardest part of this is really just getting yourself out of what you think you know, the mindset of how the world has worked up until now, and all those rules and those beliefs and those opinions of how everything works and how it is, and getting yourself wrapped around this new way and what could be possible over here and what is possible over here with the math.
Thanks for the super chat, Alan.
The math doesn't lie, right?
Never.
So as long as you can just see that while dropping all the other bullshit and baggage that you've picked up through life up until now, you're winning. That's it, man.
That's it.
That's all we got to do is just drop the baggage while listening and being open to what is being discussed.
Right.
That's it.
Simple as that, too. It's not more than that. Right. And if we keep reading through these little takeaways, what do we see? Some of the factors that Buffett considers are company performance, 100% uptime, company debt, non-existent here, profit margins, an APY of 40% if you're staked correctly. And that's just the start. Other considerations for value investors like Buffett include whether companies are public, how reliant they are on commodities, and how cheap they are. Now, this is all a function of debt and how the company operates, right? Company performance also. This is really all one and the same. This is all to say how a company makes money, basically.
And this is based on the information that they can get and have access to, whether they can go and get exclusive information or just the same information you and I get through 13F filings and other filings that's public. And so even that, understand, you're not really getting a full picture. So just to be crystal clear, the best investor, quote unquote, on the planet probably never really gets a clear picture on what's going on.
Not at all.
Thinks he does.
But he does
Pretends
not.
like he does.
But he does not. You know, and this kind of brings something to light to me that I really hadn't realized in a while, but it's so crystal clear to me now that I'm talking about this guy. Because I really never think about him because, you know, it's whatever. But he's a smart dude and he figured out something that's so simple yet so elegant that it just works. And I'll just read the quote unquote bottom line. As you probably noticed, Buffett's investing style is like the shopping style of a bargain hunter. Fact, it reflects a practical, down to earth attitude. Buffett maintains this attitude in other areas. Blah, 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 blah. The value investing style is not without its critics, but whether you support Buffett or not, the proof is in the pudding. Right? His results speak for himself. When you look at the stock chart for Berkshire Hathaway, Where the hell is this chart? Oh, I don't have it.
Which he is the epitome of buy low, sell high.
Yeah,
Well, he
he's
never
the epitome
sells,
of buy and
but
hold.
yeah, buy and hold
Because
because he doesn't sell.
he
But he's
doesn't
the
sell.
epitome of like buy when it is a screaming good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Literally.
I mean, I'm looking at the Hex chart, and I don't know, it's kind of screaming a good deal to me.
Well, that looks like a cheap stock to me if I've never seen one.
Exactly.
Right.
Somebody was asking in the chat, like they got 20K sitting in dog coins and they want to buy a Hex. And remember, you're getting a duplicate as soon as Pulse launches. You're getting a duplicate of all stakes.
So it's really 40K, bro.
I suggest buy and stake because
Yeah.
you're going to get a duplicate, which means you get double.
Mm-hmm.
We already talked about, go back and rewind the stream. We already talked about what percentage APY that is, why it's important, all this shit. Go back and listen since the start, and there's a ton of good shit.
For sure. Now check this out. The price of 1 unit of Berkshire Hathaway's original stock is worth $515,815. Just one. Okay? Just one. Now, let's see if we can ascertain what the float is from here. I don't know if this information is going to be available, but let us see.
That is pretty wild to think about, by the way, because that is the epitome of buy and hold mentality, correct? Which, what do we know that also does that?
Huh, I don't know. Is there something out there that kind of looks like that?
I don't know. We should probably try and research into that and see if we can find something that's like that. Right?
We probably should. But we'll let you guys know next time we stream.
Yeah, we'll do a full white paper.
A full report.
Yeah, full report. We'll do an economic report for you guys.
Oh my God. It's almost like child's play. You guys just, man.
So for those of you thinking, man, Hex could never go to 500K. It could never go to $1 million. Jay, that'd break the financial system.
Yep.
Well,
how is it possible?
I
get that question all the time, and some people can't accept it.
Well, it's only because, like I said, all the baggage and bullshit that you've picked up along the way has got you thinking that you understand and you don't.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
We're going to teach you.
The only thing that says it's not okay is your ego.
Yep.
So just let that shit go and you'll be just fine.
That's exactly right, because I had to get over it too.
Oh, hell yeah, me too. In the beginning, dude, I just was not getting it.
That's how it works.
Every day, I can say happily that every day we stream, every day we talk, every day we look at shit like this, I understand it more and more and more. And that's all that matters.
Yep. Because it's a time game. You know, imagine I feel the same way. And I understand this shit now.
Yeah. So every day I feel like I'm smarter than yesterday with my understanding of this shit.
That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so let's look at this. Oh, what the hell just happened? Oh, okay.
Real quick, in the chat, yes, you'll be getting. Okay, so there's eHex, which is Hex on Ethereum right now, and you'll be getting Hex on the Pulse Network. Pulse Network launched by the same guy, Richard Hart. So I guess you could say it's not the same, but I don't know how we really have that conversation. They're both Hex. They're just on different chains, different networks.
Yep.
That's it.
It's just getting copy-pasted. It's just getting copy-pasted because what's going to happen is that when Pulse Chain becomes live, it's because Ethereum has been forked and it is now Pulse Chain.
Yeah.
Simple. So as we're looking at this chart, the ROI multiplier from the all-time low for Hex is at around 3,000x. It's right between 4,100 and 2,100, basically.
And that is a beautiful double bottom on that, by the way.
Now, the funny thing is that this is on an 80% dip after doing 10,000x. That's what this chart's showing you right here.
Which, I mean, you want to talk about the most impressive shit that Richard probably ever said was that in the beginning, he said he's expecting, like, here's how he presented it. Well, ETH did 10,000x, so why wouldn't Hex?
Right.
And then it did.
And
then it went out and did it. That's impressive. That's impressive. Already, in less than 2 years.
No time.
That's fucking impressive, dude.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, Berkshire Hathaway. 2,067x all time. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you probably do not have any clue how the holders of this stock admonish the creators of Berkshire Hathaway because they've retired them all.
Oh, wait. What does admonish mean? That's a fucking killer word. What does that mean? Let me look this up. Hold on. Admonish. I've never heard that word before. What the fuck? Dang.
Hold on. I think I used the wrong word. Thought I meant something else.
Yeah.
That's the right word. This is
I like that word, though.
Yeah, it's pretty profound.
Reprimand
It's
someone
pretty
firmly.
deep.
Admonish.
Yeah. They do the complete opposite.
Okay, I like that word. We got to use that word from now on.
They love these guys, right? So whatever the opposite of admonish is, I don't know how the fuck I want to say it. I'm kind of bothered by that. Damn.
Yeah, all right, let's see.
Usually pretty good with my vocabulary. Applaud, command, compliment, congratulate, allow, bro. Yeah, that's fine. Not really as good as admonish, really.
Yeah, admonish, dude. That word is
that was
killer.
strong,
like
right?
You came out with that, and I was like, damn, what does it even mean?
What the hell is he? I never heard that shit. Yeah, it's a good word. It's a good word. But I
like
use
it.
it so wrong. It's sad. But the point is as follows. This is where we're at on a dip. This is where they're at, period.
Yep. That's wild. Can we build on this for a second, actually? Can we dive deeper into this?
Sure.
Okay. Where is the value of Berkshire Hathaway derived from? It is derived and backed by essentially the portfolio that they own, by Warren Buffett himself. You can't deny that if he were to unfortunately pass away or step away in some sort of capacity, even though they've tried to distance themselves from him, it would negatively affect the price. This is mostly true for companies where there's some sort of leader, right, or CEO.
A prominent
one. Yeah, so it's derived from the value that exists in the company, in the system. So what happens to HEX and the value that's derived as more billionaires are created, as more millionaires are created, as more vehicles are created and stacked and supported as pillars in and around the ecosystem of HEX? How much more valuable does that make HEX? Shouldn't it make the baseline asset here, which is HEX, more valuable? Yes, it should. So it's very plausible to think that it can follow a similar trajectory in terms of US dollar value, price, as these other things that are considered like tried and tested. Like if you wanted to, in legacy, if you wanted to safely park your money, where are you going to put it? Besides bonds, treasuries, you're going to put it into something like the Vanguard. That is like, in terms of like stock picks, that is like the basic, like if you were to go and look at personal finance YouTube right now, and where they're telling you to put their money over the last 5 years, Vanguard is going to be mentioned. At least one of the Vanguard indexes is going to be mentioned. Why? Because that is considered a safe haven. That is considered a good place to park your money because of the value that's represented there and the value in that network. Same thing with Berkshire. That would also be one of the top 5 that people would probably, not in terms of dividends, but in terms of like where to park your money for quote unquote safe haven, safe investment. Well, I can't help but think that HEX is going to turn into one of those vehicles because there's going to continue to be more and more shit built on top of it. Yes, but the underlying thing that's going to keep occurring is that as long as you stay in the system long enough, you'll be rewarded. So how does that not lead to insane positive price appreciation? Because the public perception eventually tips into understanding and recognizing that it's the ecosystem that's the value.
Literally.
I mean,
nothing else. Nothing else. Without the ecosystem, what's the point? You can't even transact.
It's the same shit to me. Like it's like a Berkshire. It is like a gold standard. The longer it runs, the more it just keeps doing what it does. The more people posting screenshots of millions and billions that they're fucking making. The more people that retire. The more people that walk away from the legacy system. The more people will start to put that gold stamp and that gold label on it.
Simple as that.
It's gonna be cool to see.
I mean, imagine we're talking about we're already greater than their all time, and this is, let's see. Hold on, let me make sure I get this. Boom. Let's get their all time high to make it generous for them. 2315x. Good for them.
Oh yeah, dude.
Still below
That's
us.
awesome.
But good for them, you know.
That's awesome.
Because we're just getting started.
And that's based on, let's also remember this, that's based on people and portfolios and balance sheets. Ours is based on code.
This is based on the expectation of the work of. So this is based on the
Yes.
expectation to profit from the work of others, literally.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's a great fucking point. Yes, it is. And ours is not.
Now, I hope you guys grasp how bullish this is because you own a system that has 100% uptime. Imagine if
a system, also to a system that doesn't need to go out and hunt for yield to prove to its shareholders that it can go and make money and turn a positive ROI.
That's right. It's designed to do that.
It doesn't need any of that.
It's engineered to do that.
Yeah. Big stress off our shoulders. We don't got to be out there hunting and syndicating deals. Huge sweat off our brow.
Oh my God. I mean, it's so critical. It's so crucial though, right? Because guess what? It removes that doggone what? Hold on. Where is it? It kind of reduces this, enhances that, and improves the overall this. Because what are you not doing? Spending money on this. Because this is why the term reliant is used here. That's a function of weakness. It's not a function of strength. How reliant are they on commodities? Because guess what? That's a raw input. And the cost there cannot be controlled by the organization. It's controlled by the producers. So they're a third party to that. And this is why, like if you look at grocers that grow their own food and stuff, they profit greater than those that do not. Because they have to go through the logistical nightmare of gathering food and all that to sell in their grocery, in their locations or whatever. So we don't have overhead. This is why all we have is this positive performance.
Yeah, we don't have to go digging through balance sheets and 13F filings and sit down with the founders and these guys and those guys and still not get the full story in order to make our investment. We just have to basically understand the code.
I forget the damn investment process for the institution. So let's talk about that for a little bit.
It's horrible.
Oh yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. That's what I used to do. I started out on Wall Street doing just that.
It's gross.
Equity fundamental research. So I would be the guy sitting talking to these lame duck CEOs about their lame duck company that promises to do something that it really ain't gonna do.
Yeah, and the desperation, I'm sure, in some of those fucking
it's brutal. It's brutal.
Disgusting.
You
could smell it a mile away.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah.
I mean, imagine how a typical company would react to Warren Buffett wanting to have a sit down. Holy shit, they'd get out all the best wine, they'd get out the red carpet for him and line up to suck his dick.
Literally.
I mean, come on, dude.
And speaking of prescient comment, right on time.
Exactly. I saw that.
Yo, that shit is funny because it's true, right?
Yeah, the dude at the bar at closing time. Oh my God, yeah, dude. On a Friday night, hunting. Yep. Where are they?
Waiting for the prey. The stragglers.
Oh God.
The stragglers. So this is what everything kind of is compared to HEX, because HEX has zero overhead. All you're doing is buying and staking. Your overhead is your gas costs after you enter the system. That's it. Here, you're buying the security and you're hoping that everybody else does everything right. And it's worked out so far, for sure. But it hasn't generated 100%. You the yield or the return. I mean, it generates you no yield, first of all, because it doesn't pay a dividend. So all you got is the paper gain, and that is all you get.
Yeah, and you got the participation, the paper participation trophy. And that's what I think a lot of people want.
Yeah, that's why Bitcoin is pushed the way it's pushed. It's about owning the right thing. It's not about owning the right thing in terms of your pocket. It's about owning the right things in terms of social status.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And that's been a huge shift you've noticed over I've noticed over like the last 12 months is the amount of like really physically attractive women that have now gotten into Bitcoin specifically, and they're Bitcoin maxis all of a sudden. Bro, like this is just like Tinder for them. It's a better version of Tinder. They're swimming in a better pool of prospects that have way more money to give them the shit that they want and need.
Yep.
To provide them with the safety and security that they want.
It's like
it's a good scam, man. It's a
like
good
owning
fucking
Louis
scam.
Vuitton, right? I mean,
yeah.
I
feel bad for a lot of these Bitcoin virgins, dude. I really do.
Hey, man, sucks.
I feel bad for him.
Sucks to be a 40-year-old virgin. It was a good movie though.
Yeah, it was. I still watch that shit.
Yeah, it's funny as hell. Might watch it later.
It is. It's still funny. Like all this time later, it's still funny.
But my favorite scenes are when they're in the store where they're working.
Yeah.
When they're doing the working scenes, when they're in the store just talking, it's just the guys talking shit. They're so retarded.
I know.
Especially the Indian guy. He's just cursing up a storm, cursing at everybody. Oh my god.
So many good scenes with that dude.
He's hilarious.
I think they really just let those guys loose and they just fucking winged all of that.
Yeah, I think they winged it all too. I agree. That had to be improv.
Because it's so organic, man.
Yeah. Oh, in fact, I can't talk about it. That's down low. Damn. All right.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. We can talk about it. I forgot because this is like not on the street yet. It's like pre-made stuff. You know, when you're leading the financial world, you kind of get privy to those kind of cool things that you're not even going to do anyway, but you can't talk about. I mean, yo, but come on, ROI multiplied from all-time low on an 80% dip. 2000 is still better than the best stock ever. Better than the best stock ever. Berkshire Hathaway is literally the best stock ever.
Yeah, I think so. I would say hands down. I mean,
risk-adjusted return, volatility-adjusted return, it's the best stock ever, hands down.
Yeah.
Look at the volatility. It's non-existent in this chart. It barely dipped under any trend line. 1 time, 2 time, 3, 4, and barely during the freaking crisis. I mean, come on. And this is 21 days per chart or per candle, right? So the gyrations are going to be ginormous relative to what you're looking at on a daily chart. So let's see here. Just a 50% dip. That's actually nothing because a lot of companies went to 0 during this time. So, yeah.
Real good point.
Yeah, 99%.
Literal 0.
Negative, yeah. So it's better than that. So if you look at something like Apple, which is something that somebody would consider a runner-up to this stock for sure, not as clean.
Yeah, way more dramatic of a chart.
Way more dramatic of a chart, right?
Like all over the fucking place.
And you've owned.
How far does that go back?
Oh, but that's a 3,000. That's a 3,700X though, bro. Damn.
Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty wild because let's also look at the time that it took for that to occur. Like we're talking about since 1981.
Yeah, tech stocks.
That's a long fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
That's a long time to deliver that sort of ROI.
But what's funny is that people swear by the tech stock because of that ROI.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's really peaked. I mean, that's
well, because they're doing what? They're making the age-old mistake of future expectations about
putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah. Blah blah blah.
That is the strategy for tech stocks, for growth stocks in general.
Yeah.
The strategy is putting the cart before the horse because if you are invested in a growth stock in the stock market and that growth stock only meets expectations, guess what happens? They sell the hell out that stock.
Yeah. Well, and let's look at how is like stocks and investing marketed. Well, we could look to Motley Fool, who's by far the largest advertiser of stocks, and what do they use in almost every single one of their sales letters? If you would have just put $100 into Apple in 1981, you would have $2 trillion right now. Yeah. Oh, okay.
What if?
Fucking 50 years later. And who's gonna do that? Just like name me and point out, please, all the guys who still own Bitcoin from 13 cents. Please go find them. Go find them. Let me know.
Right. Yeah, they're nowhere to be found.
I mean, they're on another fucking planet right now if they actually existed. Because why would you stick around here if you owned fucking, what would that be? Trillions? Why would you still be here?
Good question.
Like, you really think that guy's going to be on national television talking about this shit, writing books like the typical losers?
Trying to get you to profit.
Yeah, trying to now help you get profit or no.
Yeah.
And help you sell something to you? Dude,
Right.
he's gone, man. He's fucking gone.
Right. What up, Maddie? Hope you're doing well, brother. But yeah, that's a fact,
Boom.
man. That's a fact. Now, yeah, Warren and Charlie did not extract the value. They did not rug their investors. No, because you can't do that, right? They will go to jail. That's called fraud.
Which that brings up an important point. How many people are profiting off of the suffering or losses of somebody else?
But this is what my whole stream was about yesterday, right? Like the whole crypto space, we're literally fighting an army of financial fucking destroyers. Like they're out here hoping you do not profit from you watching them. And the whole objective is to get you to watch them so you get wrecked.
Yeah, they're living in lack. They are driven from a place of lack and I guess like so they're operating out of a place of dog eat dog. Well, better me winning than me losing. Well, better off them losing than me because they're just somebody else online and a Twitter account, on a whatever account. I don't know who they are, right? Better them than me. So that mentality is literally their driving force. So now you tell me how somebody who operates, not talks, but operates and talks out of that place of lack can help you to prosperity. How can they lead or guide you to a place of positive ROI, of wellness, happiness, anything, when they're operating out of a place of lack? Completely, utterly, fully. They can't. They're completely full of shit is what they are. And it's even worse that people are believing them. They're thinking this guy who's getting early access to deals, who's getting allocations to talk about this in a video review, has my best interest at heart. Get real, dude. There's no fucking way. So it comes back to it, like full circle, everything we've been talking about in this stream and his last stream. It is their job to essentially make sure that they win and you lose. How are they going to help you? Come on, man. So that all being said, like if people understood that, if people saw that, then they wouldn't be following these people. There's also another part of this dynamic, I think, too, which is that like your trader that's trying to like beat the casino, that's trying to beat the markets. He thinks that he's gonna extract some piece of alpha out of this, which he might. I mean, general sentiment, you're gonna get that out of videos like that and following people like that and watching them. You're gonna get general sentiment to see where the market's at. But outside of that, that's not really, that's not really that tradable. And you can get caught up in it really easily, and you can get you can get deluded pretty quickly, and then all of a sudden you start liking this person just because you've watched them so much. So it changes from you just trying to tune in to get sentiment to now you're like a follower of what they're doing. Oh, he's not that bad. That's the worst thing you could say about these people. Oh, he's not that bad. Yes, they are.
But that's
they're
when
fucking
it
dog
gets
shit.
dangerous, right? Because now you've lost your objectivity.
Correct.
And now you're just reliant on emotions. And if you're relying on emotions and not taking into account the decision you're making is emotion-based and not based on the facts. That's
you're retail.
Usually, when you get taken to the cleaners.
Like you're literally retail at that point.
I like it. May 7th sounds good to me. By then, all the dopes might be out. You know what I mean? So we will see, because the supposedly that was a hack, that 25 million hex dump from 3-4 days ago. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, so apparently somebody's wallet got hacked. I don't know. 2 transactions, one for 19.5 million and another for like 3-4 million. I can't remember exactly anymore. Maybe it was even 5 million hex, but the total was like 25 million hex total. 25 million hex. I mean, one transaction was like 2 million and the other one was like 500,000. It was insane. Just slap. bop, bop, bop. And people say there's no liquidity in HEX. I mean, here we are, right back at the price at which that thing was sold, 13 cents. I mean, and this whole time we're sitting here earning yields while this phenomenal product just continuously works day in, day out. I mean, we own the best software known to man, as far as I know.
Yeah, so far.
So far,
so good.
So far, yeah. I mean, Mac isn't this good, and Mac is pretty up there in terms of operational efficiency, right?
Yeah.
So that says a whole lot about the future value of this software. And I think that people don't really get that. I mean, I know they don't, because damn, they're selling the hell out of HEX like there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, and we could. It's funny how many different ways. Well, it's funny how many different ways we could have the same conversation. We could now spin software and talk about software and how those operating systems constantly need updates. They constantly need patches done and upgrades on the system. This one doesn't. We could have, like I said, we could have the same conversation so many different ways.
The only thing that HEX needs, and I don't think people get that, HEX is designed to be transplanted from one network to the other. It literally doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as it's a blockchain, it's going to work. An Ethereum compatible blockchain, or a Geth compatible blockchain anyway. But I'm sure they can outfit it to work on other chains if need be. Right? Because in essence, they're really just, because the HEX code is locked in to the Ethereum code. So it's not like it's out there just sitting on the surface. So that's important to understand about the HEX code, because that's what makes it so secure, right? We're a little step above in terms of our security features because of that. And the fact that when you stake your HEX, you no longer have any coins outstanding. You now just have a receipt called the T-share, which represents the value of your stake, right? And that's pretty important to understand, because it's that T-share that continues to gain value over time. Hold on, let me find that chart for you guys. Here we go. And understanding this, right, is the difference between being invested in an asset class that's better than Berkshire Hathaway, better than Microsoft stock, better than Apple stock, better than Google stock, better than all these stocks that you've heard of your entire existence, because they've done a measly 4,000x, when HEX is already on a 2,500, 3,000x on a pullback of 80%, 70% after doing 10,000x. How do you even compare that? You can't.
Nope.
You can't.
It's like apples and oranges.
Not even the same conversation.
Not even the same. And we just getting started. There's no adoption.
Yeah,
there's like no fucking adoption.
Yeah, this is year 2, 9,000 stakers, right? Let's see here. So early. Current holders, about 300,000. Current stakers, a little over 90,000. Talk about early. How much early do you want? I mean, people aren't realizing. Bitcoin, 60,000, 69,000. HEX, 13 cents. Ethereum, 3,000. All-time high, but was it 4,750 or 4,500 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that.
But where does it end? If those two protocols can do 10,000x plus, where does it stop for HEX? Does it really stop for HEX? I don't think so, because it just works.
Yeah. And if the table's hot for you, why would you ever leave?
Right.
To throw in a gambling reference. So if you're getting paid out on this thing 15, 20 years down the road, you're gonna what are you gonna do? So let's all these stakes, all of us staked out 15 years, right? So we get to the finish line, we cash out our money. We're gonna all go right back in. Why
Where
wouldn't
else
you?
better put your money? Assuming that nothing changes between now and then, where else?
Unless something dramatically changed in terms of like Hex got worse or a bunch of shit got better. I mean, where else are you gonna go? Why would you? I mean, I don't know. It'd be tough to like push me out of that camp of I'm at least gonna reinvest what I just had.
100%.
Right? It'd be very tough to like shake me out of that. There'd have to be
The
a
yield
lot.
is going to be it's going to be multiple times greater than the principal.
Yeah, it'd take a lot to shake me out of like reinvesting into that. I'm telling you that now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, based on the past 871 days, we have zero reason to not want to.
Yeah. Yep.
Impossible. Right? T-share rate only goes in one direction. Everything
I'll be right back. I gotta go blend a smoothie.
No worries, man. Everything that's tried to copy it has essentially failed because it's just designed to do that. Right? You can't replicate the greatest thing because if it ain't the same, it ain't gonna work. I mean, here we got a displacement in supply from day one of post big payday to now. The staked hex per staker goes down over time, and we've gone down by almost 2 million in available staked hex per staker. Right? How does that happen? Because people are entering the system. Very straightforward. Payout in hex terms per staker. How does that happen? Less hex to go around. More people in the system. More people staked. Right? At one point in time, it was easy to get 2,500. Now it's hard to even get 1,000 payout per staker, right? And of course, this is how the APY system works for Hex. It's structured to work a certain way, right? It has a capacity that's based on 3.69% inflation, right? And as we know, the system does not really generate that 3.69% inflation, which is the max capacity for the system, which is why that's the yield, the pool ROI, same as the yield the system generates when we reach 100% of max capacity, which can't happen because of the SAC phases, right? We saw that, what was it, like 45% or something crazy was SAC. So that means approximately 6.7% is the floor for the yield, assuming that remains true. We don't know what's actually going to happen. So we will see. But we can surmise that that's probably what's going to happen in the future, just given what we know about the contract. I mean, it's kind of wild to think that the all-time low could only be what's impossible to even find now. So it's kind of weird. But that's where we're at, right? Because the math doesn't care. So let's talk about something here. You know, we have the most decorrelated asset, the only decorrelated asset in capital markets, right? Unless it's something that's designed to go the inverse of a low volatility trade, which is basically taking the Bitcoin trade, because all that means is that the S&P is going up, which means that the price is going up of the S&P if the volatility is going down. So if the volatility is going up, it means the price is going down. So if Hex versus ETH, there's no connection because the correlation is zero for the entire history of the contract. And the same thing versus Bitcoin. That's just sitting here at the R squared. What does that tell you? Well, It tells you essentially that even if you do see some price fluctuations that are in line with what those contracts are doing, I'm sorry, whatever. The reality is that there's going to come a point in time where capital flows are going to bifurcate, right? And what that means is that the price action is going to be such that it's going to do whatever it wants. Hold on, guys.
Boom.
Oh, right on time. I had to just mute myself. Fucking party was rolling by.
I was just gonna let them talk amongst themselves while we were gone.
But yeah, so decorrelated asset class, dynamic unit of yield. Nobody knows it exists. It's being gate kept on many fronts. Do the math.
Booming Gems in the comments says, isn't it misleading to say 38 to 40% APY when there's a minimum amount of time that you have to stake? No, because there's a minimum amount of time on every single investment vehicle, whether expressed explicitly or not. That is up to the individual to obviously understand and research.
Yep.
So it's no different than literally anything else.
Yep.
Everything's got minimums, caps, amount of time spent, et cetera. Everything does. So it's just like anything else.
It's not misleading if you're willing to hold on long enough, right?
Yeah, so no, I don't think that's misleading at all.
I don't think so either, because it's possible. Where else are you going to find it? You tell me. I'll wait.
It's baked in like mathematically, like that number isn't just being pulled out of thin air.
Yeah. So, whatever.
Anyway, what were you chatting about? Oh, we're going through the data.
Correlations,
huh? Yeah, nice.
Decorrelated dynamic unit of yield. That's what HEX is. 100% uptime software. HEX is a dynamic unit of yield embedded in software that runs 100% uptime. How much do you think that's worth?
Yeah, I mean, 2 hours in, man. Better be getting it by now if you're brand new to all this. Fuck.
But that's a
I don't know what else I can
right?
say.
That's a
I don't know what
serious
else I can
question,
say.
though, right? Like, how much
exactly.
is that worth? How much is a dynamic unit of yield with 100% uptime worth? That has to be an astronomical value.
Especially right now. And what's going to be interesting is like ask that question now and ask that question when there's food shortages and what the difference in the answer is going to be. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's no different than saying how valuable is bread to you today when you know that you can just go down to the store and get another loaf and there's none on the shelf. It's the same fucking question.
Correct. So we got an interesting comment here. Why are they still gatekeeping HEX? Now, there are scams that are not gatekept. They're actually
all the time.
promoted all the time.
All the time. How quick has, FTX or Binance listed some fucking dog shit?
Instantly.
Yeah, some of them it's just like, man, that just launched, and like 2 days later, it's on Binance already. Oh my gosh. And then they just spin it and they just say, oh, well, that's why we're cutting edge, guys, because we're the first to list. That ain't a good thing. That's like that. Once again, it's like saying ETFs are good.
Yep. And the answer
it's the same energy.
because they don't want people to win.
Correct.
That's
if you
why.
win in Binance, Binance makes no money.
Yep.
Let me reaffirm that. If you are winning in Binance, it's because Binance is losing money. So do you think that CZ could be worth now billions because he put himself on the Forbes list? He bought himself a little piece of Forbes now. So do you think he'd be doing that and could do that and is getting touted now all over the place? He's obviously on a PR spree. Don't know why. We'll find out soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that'd be possible if everyone on Binance was fucking winning with 125x leverage?
Nope. No way.
Come on, dude.
They'd be bankrupt.
False idols, dude. That's all it is.
Let's see. Booming Gems. Yes. Once again, the answer would remain the same.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
Right. Because you have an option of staking from one day all the way out to 5,555 days. What you choose to do is up to you, and that is ultimately what determines your ROI. So while it could be 38 to 40% because you just staked for one day and got lucky, it could also be 100, 200, 300, 400% APY if you stake and hold on long enough, and just a whole bunch of EESs just hit the blotter, and we're all like happy go lucky because all these good accounts are being done and all this craziness is happening and all that. Like, we don't know. And that's the whole point. That's why it doesn't actually matter. Until you do your research, you don't know that. And this is why it doesn't matter. Because in cryptocurrency, we do our own research before we make any assessment. That's
also
how it's really supposed to work. Go ahead, brother. I'm going to mute myself while this shit is going on.
Okay. Remember this too, like in the beginning of the stream, which is what you're referencing, we covered platforms like Nexo, platforms like crypto.com, where you can stake a certain amount of CRO or Nexo to then start getting a cashback percentage or an APY, right? But you got to understand is that in the fine print, that 8% that you're getting on your 400,000 CRO, your $400,000 staked as CRO for 6 months, that 8% is not guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. It's a dynamic number. It is due to change, and that is written deep inside their TOS. So again, like it's no different than that. Except the difference is that on something like crypto.com, you have to dig through pages and pages and pages of terms of service to actually read that, yes, that 8% number could change. And at any point in time, they can change that. At any point in time, they can close your account, kick you off the system. At any point in time, they can close your bank account and your high yield savings account is gone. At any point in time, they can ban you from the banks, right? So like the argument you're making and the little piece that you're trying to find in the haystack here is silly. Yeah, especially when we look at like what are the traditional vehicles and what are the traditional options that exist right now. They're fucking horrendous in comparison.
You want to know what I think when I think about HEX? 2 words. And it's not no fucking choice this time. It's no competition.
Yeah.
Period.
Just go look at all that other shit. Nexo.io, crypto.com. Go look at their debit cards or credit cards, and you'll see. It's a variable rate, just like anything else. The interest rate you've got on your credit cards is based on a prime interest rate, which is variable. It says variable rate right on it. So the amount you pay is variable. The amount that you get in cash back is variable. Everything is variable. It's the same thing here. It's just way fucking better here. That's all.
It's not 100%. So what happens to stakes that end at the same time as a closed chain launch date? Well, they better get accounted if they end it. And I mean, you have a 2-week grace period, so you just should not end it. You shouldn't do anything. Just leave it there. So, yep. Thank you for adding that. Appreciate it. 0% overhead. Just your cost of acquiring the unit of yield, and that is it. You are done. Straight gains in capital. Period. And that's where that price of earnings chart came from, which I no longer show since nobody really cares to understand it. But, one day, maybe. But yeah, I mean, imagine.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a great point.
Coin. That's a shit.
Yeah, Celsius. Celsius is a great example of how bad things could start going for you. Yeah. Celsius just rug pulled all their fucking APY. Mm-hmm. Imagine that.
Cannot actually.
So that's why it's like
that's not cryptocurrency, bro.
Yeah, I don't mean to like dig at you, bro, but like it's just such a weird comment to ask, and like such a weird thing to like try and pull that little tiny piece out of everything we've said on this stream, as if like that's the gotcha, the aha kind of thing you're going for. I don't know, but like look at what exists in the market right now. It is like 3 shades of dog shit.
And that's
they can just come out and fucking KYC
likely, you, right?
Yeah, they can come out and KYC you if they haven't already. KYC was the first big rug pull. AML. Now it's cool. They want you to put hundreds of thousands. They're rewarding the people that bring in the big dollars, right? So 400,000 up to $1 million is who they reward with the most cash back percentage or APY. But at any point in time, that can change. So it's like, again, it's no different. It's no different.
100% agree with this comment, Coin Critic.
Yeah.
They got it so wrong that they got wrecked.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And I don't even know, like, I truly don't know the appeal there of what they're going
Look,
for.
I don't know either.
Like, it doesn't make
And
sense. It's not crypto.
when I started streaming and talking about the difference between existing yielding protocols, I pointed out how centralized dog shit gets you centralized dog shit results. And that's
Dog shit returns.
That's exactly what people are going to get from centralized dog shit. So you keep on playing the game acting like you know better, because that's what you're going to get.
Well, it's like I said earlier, the longer you listen to like a shill and some YouTube influencer, the more you're going to buy into it, and you're going to start believing the dog shit coming out of their mouth. So the longer you listen, the more you start to buy into it. The same thing is happening in the entire crypto space. The longer crypto's been around, the more they've been able to subtly and slide in all these centralized points and mechanisms of control of these, these pieces and these levers. And everyone's just like, oh yeah, well, why wouldn't we have a crypto debit card? Duh. Why wouldn't we have crypto credit cards? Duh. Why wouldn't we want to put our money on a centralized exchange that's not backed by FDIC insurance at all? My shit could go missing tomorrow. They could close my account. I get a variable rate APY that could disappear tomorrow. Duh. Why wouldn't I do that? It's like
ridiculous.
And it only sounds stupid when you say it out loud.
Because that's how stupid it is.
Yeah, man. So a lot of this is just about getting your head right.
Yeah, it's about learning the right concepts, understanding the right themes, understanding the things that matter, and having confidence in your understanding. Because if you don't put in the work, you're not going to get to that level where you understand that this means that now is the time to be buying HEX, not selling it. Because it's undervalued strictly. Anytime price on this chart ends up going under this line, it's always a time to buy. Never been not the case. If you've been watching me for ever since I started streaming, then you know that's true. Assuming you remember that.
Yeah, it almost works as like it's kind of it's a little bit like the regressions and stuff that they use on Bitcoin to try and tell you that it's a time to buy, or like a fucking moving average or something. It's like it's telling you this is the time to buy.
Yep. That's right.
Because of the historical data.
This is a good question. When you say BTC is not a crypto, can you explain that for me? I've been trying to explain it to friends and need a strong argument. Well, the problem here is that your friends don't know what crypto is, first and foremost. So all of you are wrong, right? You can't have the blind leading the blind. So you first of all have to learn what cryptocurrency is. And Bitcoin is not one. And how do we know that? Well, it's very simple, and I'm going to walk you through the steps of determining that in the simplest way possible, such that your friends can kiss your ass. Because that's what it's about, is it not? I'm sure it is. Because why do we not care about anything else? So we look up Bitcoin white paper, which I actually bookmarked here. And here we go.
Control plus, yep. Let's zoom in on this.
Let's get in there real good. We don't even need to go into the actual thing here, right? Like it's just irrelevant.
Just start at the top.
We don't even need, we just need the abstract. That's it. And it says it in the first line, literally. A purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another. And here, my friend, is your smoking gun without going through a what? Financial institution, aka financial intermediary, aka a freaking middleman. Now, when you look at Bitcoin, where does the majority of that volume trade?
On a centralized exchange.
That's right. Boom. So, by definition, no coin that professes to be a cryptocurrency and trades on a centralized exchange primarily is under that bucket. Period. Is not under that bucket. It is not a cryptocurrency. It is a farce. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could call it a failed project, even though I think it's been pretty successful and it did its job. But in terms of matching the product to what the product was supposed to be, it's failed.
Epic failure.
Yeah. Massive.
Ethereum
Yeah.
is no different. I mean, all these coins are pretty much no different. So,
which, I mean, going back to it, like, you know, Roger Ver wasn't wrong.
No,
with
he
what
was
he was
not.
trying to do. He was actually right.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to fulfill on the cash.
But that's
the
why they tried to
peer-to-peer
run
cash
him. That's why they harassed him the way they did.
Yeah.
And they cost him the way they did. This is why they gatekeep HEX. It's no different. Different fight. Different enemy.
I mean, look what they were willing to do to Roger. They were willing to fucking kill that guy.
Yep.
If you would have given him the chance. I mean, he had shit thrown at him at events. He had people come up to him and want to fucking start fights with him. He's completely off social media now. They did that to him.
Literally.
So you don't think
Bitcoin maxis.
Yeah, you don't think they can do shit like that?
They just
look
did
at what
it.
look at what they're constantly trying to do with Richard with that fucking Scammer of the Year award bullshit. Those 3 cringe fucks on stage. Oh my god, dude.
And these are the people that are supposedly leading crypto. No, they're not. We are.
Yeah.
And it's on you to make sure that's the case.
And let me ask you a more important question. If you were sitting on, and you knew you were sitting on the best performing asset on the planet, would you actually be behaving like that from stage in front of people publicly? No.
Would you say that human rights don't matter? Would
exactly.
you say that nothing matters, in fact?
Exactly. So why do they behave that way? If they're sitting on the best performing asset, if they're sitting on the best possible thing that's going to save everybody from inflation, Bitcoin fixes that. Bitcoin fixes fucking everything, apparently. So if they were actually sitting on that, why would you fucking behave like that? And when does I want to help people come into the picture? When does let's make it there together come into the picture? Because the minute that I mention that I like ETH or I bought ETH or I bought an NFT, I'm a piece of shit. So what's going on here? The words aren't matching the fucking actions and the perceived, I guess, mechanism or value proposition here. It's not matching at all.
This is funny. I did not know this.
Yeah, this just went viral like the other day. So the guy who went from a video in the back of a car saying, this is dog shit, don't do it, even though he just got out of jail and he still owes a ton of people money. He's barely paid back any of the debt from going to jail for the Ponzi schemes that he ran. And essentially it was just fraud, front running a lot of stocks that he took public. Instead of paying those people back, he's now charging $40K to be a crypto whatever. Come hang out with him and talk crypto in a mansion. That's pretty crazy.
But what's crazy to me is that I'm here talking about this shit for free, and this clown is getting $40K. And he doesn't actually.
I know. We should start charging $40K. Is what I think.
He doesn't even know anything.
My shit's better than that. I don't know what the fuck that guy's going to talk about besides giving me lessons on how to avoid going to jail. But if you're not doing anything shady, why do I need to hear that if I'm doing everything above board? Why do I need to do that if I'm a person that prides myself in integrity?
Oh my god!
I assume most people on this call do.
I like to think so. I mean, this is amazing.
So yeah, I don't know. Like, and again, all these questions and a lot of this conversation that people are having is, you got to understand, is that you're still seeing the system through the old eyes. You're still seeing everything through the old eyes, the old set of beliefs, the old set of baggage. And it's not until there's just going to be this moment where it clicks, and it actually clicks, and you're going to just start to see everything differently. I don't know when that point's going to come for you. It's going to come differently for everybody.
Right. And it's
just wait for that. Hold on for that.
And it's a hell of a ride once you get there.
Yes. Keep showing up. Keep listening. Keep being open until that moment happens, and then come back and tell us about it.
It's going to happen. Has to. No choice. Because nothing makes sense, and you know it. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be here in the first place.
Yeah, there's got to be something for you to be on a stream like this. There's got to be something deep down that you feel is not right. You're looking around the world, you're looking around the financial system, you're looking around all this shit that you've just taken for granted, that you took to be true. Everyone told you it was true, how it worked. And you're looking around and you're saying, wait a second, some don't make sense. So congratulations, because you're already halfway there.
And this is why, right? They're just trying to be part of the status system, right? And I think that's pretty evident. It's pretty clear, because who the hell states they don't care about anything with a straight face? Straight face, as if that was an elegant rebuttal. I mean, we saw that in real time. How in the world do you take any of these people seriously and think that they have any standing in this space? They do not. They don't matter at all. And until you start acting like they don't, they will continue to.
Yeah.
So when you get mad at the maxi taking all the shine, all the light, well, guess what? You're the one on Twitter engaging with those clowns, giving them the ammunition that they're using against us. When you're engaging with these furus that act like Hex doesn't exist, but they're buying it in the background, hoping nobody knows.
Oh yeah, 100%. And we've now
we
heard
know.
firsthand accounts of that. We've seen it
and we
time
know.
and time again.
That's right.
They can't talk about this shit.
Yep, because they're not getting paid for it. And if they get caught talking about it, what happens? The other money dries up.
Yeah.
So they're too scared to keep supporting their financial habits, which are clearly poor, to keep doing what they're doing, which is getting others that are looking for financial freedom wrecked. Strictly. And this is why it's important to know the difference between a cryptocurrency and what's not a cryptocurrency. And if a crypto is not doing this, a purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash, which would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial intermediary, then that is not crypto. Period. Because that's what Bitcoin was supposed to be, and that's not what it is.
Yeah, I mean, like, how come Bitcoin didn't come up with some version of a Uniswap, an aggregator, for people to participate on the network, on the chain, but not need a centralized point of failure, like what ETH does?
Right.
How come they didn't do that then? Weird, right?
Very. Extremely. And here's the thing. You know, you don't need to be ashamed of that guy because he's Australian. You should be ashamed of him because he's a human being, because that's how I felt.
Yeah. And also too, like, just there's so much there, right? Like we've kind of unpacked this in quite a few areas on this stream, and we do on every stream, but it's just like the separate set of rules is the part that you should really look for. So for example, like how CZ is treated and the things he does, right? We talked about the Binance piece, but let's also talk about, just touch on Belfort again for a second, is like, he's forgiven for the most part in the public eye.
Yep.
But yet he's responsible for tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of damage to American households and American families. But yet you'll have people that grab one piece of Richard's history, the whole Panama situation, and if you've actually researched the guy and researched like his history, like that's one of the points in time where people will try and say, this, and they'll pin that. And this was, I don't even know when this was, maybe 2015, 2013, I don't know, long time ago, right? Years ago. And they'll say, but what about this? Wait a second. You just said we can forgive Jordan Belfort over here, but we can't forgive this guy over here. When they're two completely wildly different sets of damage done.
Victimless crime versus a victim-full crime.
Correct. So how does that make sense? Why does that make sense? It doesn't. So then why are we operating that way? Because it's once again that system I keep talking about, that way of viewing the world, of finding this like common enemy. Why is it okay that this fucking guy charges 40 grand to sit down and talk to him about crypto now when fucking 2 years ago he was saying crypto's a scam?
Yep.
And fucking 10 years ago he was in jail for it. For actually
scamming.
Yeah. And he actually went to motherfucking jail, like real jail, pound me in the ass jail. Why is that okay? Like, okay, if fucking Peter Schiff tomorrow were to say, I love Bitcoin, the maxis would just bring him right in, wouldn't they? Oh my God, you know they would. You know they would. In 6 months, he'd be headlining.
They'd be carrying him like he won the fucking Super Bowl.
Yes. He'd be headlining every single crypto event in 6 months or less. Why is that okay? But you're telling me that we're going to hold on to this other little piece over here with, let's say, Richard, or this other piece over here with this guy? It don't make no fucking sense. It doesn't make sense.
And that
So
should
it tells
answer your
you.
question then, Boom and Gems. We don't
Yes.
need crypto traders to buy HEX or enter the RH ecosystem, and we don't need them.
At all, actually.
In fact, what we need is no coiners, as you state, but ones that understand what this is and have the proper education, because that's the name of the game. You don't want to be in and out. That's exactly right. You don't want to be in and out, because if you're in and out, that means you're losing potential. What happens if that one day you're out? That's the one day that some whale comes in and pumps that bad boy. 20x.
Yeah, and we can do technicals and fucking rainbows and moon patterns and all that shit, and it gives us a leg up. It does. It gives us an edge to a degree.
That's it.
But like, you're never going to foresee that.
Never. Never.
That guy could have. That guy could have brought
least
that.
Expected.
Yeah, that guy could have brought that Bitcoin on chain a month ago and just been sitting on it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to see that. The on chain data ain't going to tell you that.
Mm-mm. Nope.
So there's like, in terms of like who's got the weakest hands, the worst and weakest hands are hackers. People that hack in, steal your money, and go sell it immediately. Those are the softest hands in existence. Okay, so they're the most detriment to a system. Even though I like them because they're a disruptor, I don't like them for literally everything else. And then the next weakest hands, set of weakest hands, are traders.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Nardo. Hope you're doing well, brother. You and the fam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, right? Because
Yeah,
here we are talking about how we want to expand adoption and all this, and we're just all aiming in the wrong directions, most of us.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is a great point, Joe. Like, they bought in Kevin O'Leary.
Yes.
Remember how Kevin O'Leary was trashing Bitcoin?
Great example.
Boy,
Great example.
for the whole decade of the 2010s.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was saying some fucking aggressive shit early on. Dude.
Super aggressive. I mean,
basically calling you a fucking idiot if you're
he was
buying
being
it.
himself.
Yeah, yeah.
He was being himself. Forget about it.
Yeah. And now he's headlining every fucking crypto event.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that funny?
Besides Bill Clinton, apparently.
Because time to start collecting some checks, huh, Mr. Clinton?
Exactly.
Just
why wouldn't he, dude? Why wouldn't he come in and fucking, now that it's been operating for over a decade, how easy is that trade to now say, oh yeah, you should probably hold some Bitcoin? Dude, come on, dude. That's like saying you should be breathing air. That's the fucking safest, not trade per se, but position to take, is to say, oh yeah.
Literally.
It'll be the same thing in 5 years when all the shit's exposed with the pokes and the fucking damage that the masks have done to the fucking oceans because the plastic, and then it's gonna be so easy to come out and say, yeah, that fucking shit was stupid.
Yep.
You know when it was the hardest? Is a month
in 2020,
after the lockdowns.
2021, when I was saying all the shit I was saying, and I'm sure all the people in here that are sensible were doing that.
Exactly.
I mean, yo, it was the height of stupidity to see all these clowns on this plane acting like they were happy. Don't fucking act like you were happy. Your stupid ass was just flying for the past 2 years, smiling under that stupid fucking mask. You fucking posing ass human motherfucker. Yo, that really set me off when I saw that.
It set me off because I feel like they missed the purpose. So
of course, that's the point.
Instead of asking the question,
what?
The last 2 years, and let's get some fucking reparations for that, they're smiling because
they're
boss
fucking
let them off
bro.
early.
They're fucking clapping. What?
Yes.
Man, I would slap all them motherfuckers.
You know what that was? That was, we just got boss let us go home early on a Friday.
Yeah.
That's what that
was. Literally. Oh my God, yo. I could not believe the crap I was seeing in these videos. We're not going to forget you people that were highlighting.
I mean, some people might be all into that fucking, taking a different angle and forgetting.
I don't kumbaya shit. I don't forget nothing.
Not on that front. But
I ain't about none of that. When it comes to freedom, I take no prisoners. All communists going down, period. There's no salvation here. We're not going to forget you ever.
I just feel like something like that has to be taken the most fucking serious that could be taken.
100%, because guess what? It's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Period. That's not a fucking when. It's not an if. It's gonna. Because they just saw that they can get away with it.
Yeah.
Period. And motherfuckers clapped after. You fucking kidding me? It's not a TV show, you dumb fuck. What are you clapping at? Chill,
Well,
I
and
tell
they
you,
always
man.
tend to do that, and they always tend to do that like little by little, never all at once, little by little.
Incredible, yo. I mean, that, wow. I haven't even talked about it because I knew it was gonna get me live like this.
I didn't realize that. My bad, bro.
Oh man, are you kidding me? Yo, they still got kids in New York wearing these damn masks, bro. And these clowns are literally sitting here acting like that's doing somebody some favors, and all they're doing are destroying the psyche of these children.
Yeah, we haven't even started to talk about that. I mean, you think there's a mental health crisis going on now? The
Huh.
generation that is
Oh my
the
God.
4, 5, 6, 7, they're even more fucked.
Parents will have a lot of work to do, and they're
A
not
lot of
ready
work.
because they're too busy with their freaking heads up their rear.
Yeah.
Like, this is really what's happening in 2022. And these fools are out here acting like the same people that have been changing their tune since the start of this nonsense are the people with the authority to determine what's supposed to happen with your body. I'm going to tell you guys what. Y'all better wake the F up, because this ain't Canada, and we're running all over you motherfuckers that think that you can just sit there and say nothing. Because it's on fucking your ass. There's no tacit approval being granted here. You better believe that shit. So you stand in the way of freedom, stand in the way of what's right. Guess what? Freight train, motherfucker. So you
Well,
better get the hell out the way.
Yeah, it's not even what's right. It's what's written in the motherfucking Constitution.
Fuck the Constitution, man. Fuck that. Nobody tells you what the fuck to do with your body, bro. End of discussion. I don't give a fuck where you are. That's a basic ass human fucking right. 3 fucking feet. Back the fuck up. You go to jail, get in, go to fucking jail, get in somebody's fucking 3 feet. Find out what the fuck happens real quick, homie. This is not a fucking game, yo. That's exactly how the real world works. It's not a laughing matter. That's exactly how the real world works, Jay. When I was growing up in these streets, you looked the wrong way. Your head was getting swiped the fuck off. So for people to be here applauding, taking off a fucking mask, you're disgusting. You're not a human being. You're a literal piece of shit. You're the fucking problem. I'm gunning for you. Literally. That's where we're at. Because it's 2022 and it's time for no more games.
We got the tools now. We got the vehicles now. It's time for more people to step up into the brig and to call people out on bullshit, and then not just stand by and let these things happen. Call people out as they know that bullshit's being said. Yes, task and approval.
Tacit approval. Unacceptable. You cannot allow people to put you where you do not want to be put.
Yeah.
There is no forgetting this.
No.
Not at all. So all these people out here still pushing this nonsense on children and on other people, we taking names.
Especially on the children piece, because they don't fucking know what's going on, dude. They ain't old enough, brain ain't developed enough to understand what the fuck's going on. Exactly.
That's child abuse.
Exactly. Exactly. Which there's one thing, speaking about prison, there's one thing that'll get unanimously a guy fucked up in prison, dead. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Anything involved with a child, touching, doing something to a child. And even in jail, even in prison, there's a fucking code of honor. And you cross that line, you're fucking done, dude.
All these
people will take you out the first night.
All these people are toast. They'll be lucky if they make it to a jail. All of them are lucky if they make it to a jail. And this is the lowest scum that you know of. This ain't even the real jails that I'm talking about, that you don't even know exist because you're just a normie. Watch a movie or something. Figure it out. Because that is reality. That is not fiction. And that's what they got you believing, because that's how they lull you to sleep. But they just literally ran a fucking psyop on you for 2 years plus, and you acquiesced. You submitted.
Yeah, they just ran a fucking train up your asshole. And you just sat and watched.
Like it was something to do. And these
This is
people
what we're tasked with, man.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, this is what we're tasked with. Like this is why we're in this. This is why I feel like this is part of my job. This is your job. Like this is what I'm doing with my money. I'm going after these motherfuckers.
There's nothing else to do. It's either be a slave or not. There is no in between. How could there be? Is there an in between? I don't think that there is. Because there is no
It's pretty
option,
black
right?
and white. It's pretty black and white.
I mean, it's good versus evil. You're either with the good guys or you're with the bad guys. Because you can't just not be with anybody. That time is come and gone.
So that's what I'm going to spend my focus and my energy on when all this stuff starts really popping off. I know Wales is going to do that too. And this is what a bunch of people behind the scenes are going to be focused on and doing. Because that's how you create change.
That's right.
Doesn't happen because start wiping the fucking map. We're going to start wiping the map clean of all this fucking dirt.
It's disgusting. There's no words for what's been happening for the past 2 years, and all the persons that helped, you're all going to be held accountable. Period. And the reasoning is irrelevant. The fact that you do not know your basic human rights just means that you're a useless human being and don't belong. You should be the one in the cage. You should be the one in a cage. You should be the one in a cage. Not us. We know our rights. We knew all along that everything that you allowed to happen and you supported was wrong, unlawful, inhumane. So you will pay. Don't think this is over. It's just getting started.
I got receipts in my fucking brain for a lifetime.
Ha ha ha.
Tweets, fucking conversations, dude. I ain't gonna
never letting go. If you motherfuckers never seen a pit bull or a Rottweiler go over bone, you're about to see one in real life. You just have no idea. I was only supposed to make one video. We got nothing else to do. What you gonna do? I mean, they destroyed, exactly. They live, and we don't even talk about this.
Yeah.
They've destroyed families. They've destroyed businesses. They've destroyed our fabric of living, the way we live. I've been working from home for over 2 years. Literally. I have not stepped outside of my house to work in over 2 years because I'm a pure blood. I refuse to submit to consistent testing for no freaking reason when I don't need to. There's no time for games here, folks. You got to stand your ground and know your rights because you know who the hell you are and what is right and what is wrong, or somebody else will let you know. Don't worry. As you've seen, they're all around just waiting to tell you. So play your cards and play them right because nobody cares. And if the past 2 years didn't teach you that, good luck. Because you're going to need it. Yeah. This is real. See it all the time. People don't like looking at you. People don't want to shake your hand. All this weird stuff. For what? For some imaginary thing that doesn't even exist. You funny if you think that this shit ends here. Oh man.
This is the start of the next phase.
Mm-hmm.
That was the start of the next phase. So if you're tired now, you packed on 30 pounds, if you fucking feel like you're tired and you can't go on any longer and this shit's too hard, wake up, dude. You gotta get back. You gotta get back in the arena. You gotta get back in the gym. You gotta sharpen that fucking blade back up.
You better train for war because that's exactly what time it is.
Yeah.
Real war. Not that bullshit they put on TV for you losers to get fucking teary-eyed over. Real war. There will be casualties along the way. There already have been. Look at businesses and economies. Look at livelihoods. Look at families. This war started in 2020.
Yeah, that was the purge right there. At one point, I think it was I was looking at Yelp data. It was either 400,000 or 800,000 small business. No, 400,000 small businesses were closed.
That's probably underreported.
Probably, but according to so Yelp would they based it off of like people's hours of like being like just like how Google Business Profile does.
Right.
Yeah, like you
Those
open Monday
digital
through Friday.
profiles and whatnot, right?
Yeah, so based off of that, so it's probably not taking into account everybody, but you can assume that a bulk of businesses, 90%, were shut down temporarily.
Dude, when you walk around New York, actually, let me see if I can remember the name of this damn site.
Well, somebody, one of the dudes on YouTube covers that. By the way, he covers that really, really well. He repairs iPhones and shit, and he constantly walks around New York, and it's completely different.
Yeah, there's some guys. I wonder if it's.
I can't remember the guy's name.
I know this is his website though. I'm just trying to remember.
we lost a lot of viewers as soon as you went nuclear.
It's all good.
It's because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, and it's been 3 hours, so it's all good.
Yeah.
People know what I'm about, so it's all right. I'm not worried about that. They'll tune in and finish watching later. We just been off for a while.
But
I'm trying to remember
those conversations. I wish we could have more.
Oh yeah, it's foul.
Those are what's actually valuable.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is just getting started.
Yeah.
Right. Like this is not ending here. Retail vacancy rate. There we go. Can't remember the damn term. Let's see. And there's a map. I gotta find this map and show it to you guys. That literally takes almost real-time real estate data and highlights. Is this even recent? Probably not. Yeah, nah. And highlights.
There it is. Louis Rossman. That's a guy who covers, like, he goes and walks around New York City. And he's like, yo, what the fuck happened? And he also covers the subway really well. The subway is fucking disgusting.
Oh, yeah. It's
like, actually disgusting.
Yeah. There's no terms for it. Let's see here. But there's a map. Oof. What the flying? Oh. Is this real? This can't be real.
What is this?
So what's a cap rate? Capitalization rate is essentially like the cash on cash rate. So if you put up 20,000 on something and you get back X in terms of a rent, that's the cap rate. It's been historically 5% or lower for a long time. So I'm not sure that this is correct. This might be based off of some government assessment valuation because it says tax commission confidential. So this can't be right. Let me not get my hopes. That was crazy. Woof. Thought it was like seeing things. That cannot be right. Let's see. Oh, interesting. What do we have here? Rental vacancy rate for New York. Oh, this is clearly a lie.
Yeah.
But
that's looking a little better.
This looks pretty accurate. I mean,
damn,
I forget that this damn website sucks in full screen. Hold on. I'm sorry.
It also sucks with data, man. They always backlog the data, so you're never getting like right now data. Yeah, it's fucking annoying.
Yeah, but that's on purpose.
Like you tell me they don't got that data.
Damn it. Of course they got it. They record everything. It's their system.
Yeah.
But what's interesting to note is how the vacancy rate for New York was high, basically from 96 all the way through after. I mean, it only dipped to 5% in 2005, which was an all-time low. Which if you lived in New York and looked at what was happening around here, you wouldn't have thought that. You would have thought the shit went way lower. But nope. And then it went all the way to the top, damn near. of the 1996 and only missed by 10 basis points. So it dropped all the way to an all-time low for the past 10 years of 4.9% to 2014. And when I was working in the city at the time, I mean, you just didn't have the preponderance of homelessness and just all the craziness that you ended up seeing literally a year or two later. Everything changed literally in like 2-year time frame. And I was working in Midtown at the time, close to major transportation hubs, so I got to see the change in a drastic fashion. And as you guys can see, we're pretty much creeping up back into this range. And look, they're even called this time period of recession right after the Rona dip, but that wasn't a recession. The recession never actually ended after 2008. That's the reality, because when you look at incomes, that's what it shows you. Now let's look up this Louis Rossman guy.
Yeah, he's solid. He just kind of like walks around New York showing off different shit.
Oh, I know who this guy is, right? All fixes.
See, visiting New York on a Friday night. Is it back? Like he just kind of drops videos like that.
The customer journey builder is chock full of.
All right, guys, relax.
Or Dwayne Reed in New York City, and honestly a really long time. And I went to the store and my hands were kind of getting a little ashy and a little dry, even though I use this dry skin stuff in the morning. I don't have any at work, so I went to buy this little thing of dry skin cream. I'm looking around and I'm realizing that I'm no longer going to a Walgreens or a Dwayne Reed. Apparently I'm in prison, because even if you want to buy cheap shitty deodorant, it's stuck behind these things that you kind of have to, like, I guess. And everything has this like little button on it for customer service. Check this out. Hey, Shea butter. Shea butter has a lock on it. Pitch relief has a lock on it. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. What a city. What a city. Cetaphil. This is $9.99 and it has a lock on it. Dude. It's crazy.
Oh man.
I guess this is the world that you live in when you have lots of theft and nobody cares. Well, that's it for today. As always, hope you learned something. See you all in the next video. Bye now.
Well, that's a little taste of what's going on here. Let's see if he has. Let's see. Oh, an hour? We don't.
Hey
have
everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to be taking a walk around this lovely, lovely city that I decided appears to be 2 or 3 years worth of slime on it. So let's just walk down to 6th Avenue. We're going to walk over to 6th Avenue and just take a walk up. Look at you paying your rent. Like, I just don't get.
All right, now he's on 6.
Please do not cross thing.
Wow.
The guy over there with BMW and a really tiny penis that made sure to rev as loud as he could in an area where he can't go more than 17 miles
he's
an hour
walking
due to
up
traffic.
Actually, is he?
I guess there's a lot of people lined up to this place. Some restaurant or hotel.
No, I don't even know what the hell that is.
That's a lot of people lined up over there. That's
It's pretty empty though for a Friday. 30th Street.
Oh, it's AT&T, so this video is gonna look like shit.
Okay.
This video is brought to you by AT&T, by the way. I don't think I can get sued for saying that because it's technically true. Space for rent over here. Again, you know this shit's gonna be empty for like the next 5 or 10 years. So they probably want $40,000 for a hole in the wall. Oh, space for rent over there. Another one. Let's see how Samsung S10e Zoom is. Enhance. 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 There we go. Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving.
Now this is by Herald Square, Macy's prominent shopping area, It should not be this empty. Pretty much. Not at all.
Light is red. Does anybody give a shit? Not a single fuck. Jesus Christ. People walk so fucking slow. Holy shit. Can we... Right to J run. Instead of J walk, can you J run? If you're going through a red with cars nearby, can you at least have some sense of immediacy to you?
That there is vacant to his left that he just walked by.
I don't know what the fuck that means, Aditya. I don't know how to pronounce that.
And this is
I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's a letter or an
he's walking by some like
emoji.
Bootleg mall that we have here.
So I can't help you there.
Basically. But these are like the standing stores. They used to be inside the mall, but now they're like outside. The closer you get to H&M.
Okay, it's definitely more crowded. You see all those reports that offices don't have all their employees back to work and that the subway ridership is still really down from where it was in 2019. But it's still massively crowded. I think a lot of people don't understand that we have 8.4 million people in a space about the size of Knoxville, Tennessee. So even if you have, 1 or 200,000 people that are not really there, it barely makes a difference. So over there, it looks like, what is that sign? Herald Towers.
All right, this is
Gem
too
Realty,
grainy.
so I'm guessing that there's some space for lease over there. I don't see anybody inside of the store, so I'm guessing a lot of that is for lease. And it's probably going to remain for lease for a really long time. Because who the fuck can afford that place? Sorry.
Well, you guys get the gist, man, because long story short, ain't nobody shopping out here. People are leaving the state in droves, and that's what's going on, right? Because that's the objective, is to destabilize, destroy, demolish, put you in a position where you're reliant on them. And that's what we cannot have. That's why this is the tool that's going to provide the freedom for us to take care of business. And yeah, it's all we can pretty much do. So, yeah.
Yeah, I ain't got much else to say.
Yeah, man, it's been a good one. Appreciate you guys for checking in. Just, keep up the good fight. And thank you guys for tuning in, man. Pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Word. Peace. Let's see, where's this thing? All right. Thanks, everybody.
Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Yash deep, everybody. My God.